Hello, hello. We are back with our new Burning Wheel campaign, and we are gonna make some characters. So, you all should have a character sheet ready to go on the side there. Labeled, your character. And let's go ahead and do this step at a time with everybody. I believe, let me double check. I believe the first thing is life paths. Character creation. There it is. Yep, life paths. So.
Wait a second. I have a quick question in regards to names.
Yes.
Was there a character in Terra Nullius named Clement?
Yes. What?
Yeah.
Of
yes.
course.
Yes.
He's the main villain of this season now.
Seriously, come on, Seth.
My head.
You could still be Clement, and we would just think of that guy every time you said his name.
No. I just realized that.
I just showed everybody my email on accident.
Oh, no. How embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. Oh, everybody's changing their name?
Because I'm using the same stupid name generator you use, Caleb.
So,
I'm just going to Google French names.
Emily, I'm guessing your character is Josephine?
No, that's me.
No, that's you? Okay. I was trying to guess. I couldn't remember who was who. Okay, so Marguerite and Josephine. And
AKA
Vivian.
Joe, because I'm so modern.
Right, of course, yeah. Vivian August. Perfect. Is it pronounced Vivian or Vivian?
I like Vivian better.
Vivian, yeah.
Vivian.
One of the name suggestions is Adolf.
Ooh, we gotta come up with name signs.
Oh, yes.
True.
Hey, Alyssa, want to know what my name sign is?
What is it? Oh my god, it would be.
Yeah.
That's
Very
perfect.
true. Yeah.
Mine's so boring, it's just,
I mean, it's simple.
yeah. I was like, so why that? And he's like, I don't know, you have a good personality. And I'm like, thanks, I guess. Such a common
My
name
teacher's name this year is Lobes, so her name sign is...
Okay.
My
Seth is the
favorite
only one who's still
is,
trying to get a name.
I'm thinking Alphonse just because it was on top.
Yeah.
No,
my
not
professor
Alphonse.
is my
Why not?
Professor Rosemary.
There was
because
another character in a Burning Wheel campaign that we
they
did
referred
named
to her
Alphonse.
as the Virgin Mary.
Gosh.
Rosemary. That one was my favorite.
Fine, I'll look.
And Alphonse in that one is a serial philanderer.
Gotta find a different name then.
You keep choosing
did you
names.
ever did you ever read Pete the Cat as a kid?
Me? No.
No. Okay. So when we did a signing thing for Pete the Cat one year, and they came up with this as his name sign. Which I just love.
Nice.
Okay, these are not French names. Muhammad is not a French name.
Make sure you're on Renaissance French names. There's a difference. So, Renaissance French name generator.
This is like on a list of like popular French names, and
Oh yeah, I mean that's from modern France. So
yeah, but
yeah.
still.
Do French Renaissance name generator from fantasynamegenerators.com. That should give you some.
But then I'm gonna find a bunch of names that you've already used.
No,
Last
we have.
name
I
generator.
haven't used any French names.
Apparently, you
Literally not.
used Clement.
Well, Clement wasn't a French name. Well, it is a French name, but I didn't use. I that came up in an Italian name generator.
I found one I think will work.
Marguerite
Okay.
LeBlanc. Josephine Joe. What's your
I
last
just
name,
scrolled.
Josephine?
I just scrolled.
Yeah, I need a last name. I'm trying to look for one. I want it to be super French.
There.
Let's just say
Marco.
good performances run in my genes after me. My great grandson starred in a little show called Friends.
Oh boy.
Here, I'll give myself a last name. Marco Tisby.
Marco Tisby.
That could be Italian too, actually.
Tisbe.
I don't know. I copied and pasted it off
If
the
it was,
website.
yeah, if it's pronounced, if it has the E, I feel like it would be Tisbe. Tisbe would be
maybe
Y, and
Yeah, let me see.
but I love Tisbe as your last name though. Marco
Yeah,
Tisbe.
definitely Tisbe, but that's
Tisbe.
okay.
Marco Tisbe. Maybe I'll be Italian. I don't know. That sounds a little Italian. Is that French, Alyssa? Is that somewhere French or?
I've never heard that as like a common French name, but I could see it. I don't know.
Tisbe last name origin.
Well, I literally just made that part up. It was a first name, and I'm like Tisbe. That works.
I mean, it seems like it should be a surname. Seems like that's an actual surname.
Okay, I think I got it.
Tisbe is.
Let's make sure that I just spelled it right.
Come on now.
Josephine Boulet.
Nice.
Nice.
Tisbe is like British and Irish. Yeah.
Oh, I could be Irish again.
Marco Tisbe.
Marco Tisbe.
I'm a bit down on me luck. Yeah.
The luck of the Irish, as they say. I could use this voice again.
I'm imagining your character having a lower register though. But
I could use this voice again.
Yeah.
I was streaming the other day playing as Tweety, and his voice kept changing. I'm like, no, it's this. He kept just going into something like this. I'm like,
he's
no, it's just
dead,
like
so
this.
You can't go back.
It's like, how's the voice changing? And I did it so long.
Okay, cool, awesome. So everybody has names. Now we're gonna choose life paths. So life paths are a short slice of life, usually just a handful of years. It teaches skills, bestows traits, it toughens a character, and can make him richer or poorer. Ultimately, the character is the sum of his life paths. The total of this experience can be prosperous and fruitful, miserable and painful, or a combination of the two. It is up to the player to determine the exact paths walked. So these are a little bit complicated in the way that they can be gone from one to the other. You can't just say, I was this, and that. There has to be a sequence to them because there are certain life paths that can lead to other life paths and so on and so forth. Because of the way medieval societies work, you can't just one day be a peasant and then the next day be a merchant. You have to work your way up the social ladder. And so this is basically your past. This is everything you have done up to this point. You are probably no longer any of these things. Yeah, this is where you've been led. So I think we're gonna do the standard is 4 life paths, and I think that makes sense. So everybody first will choose a born life path. So we know everybody's character's concepts. So I'll help you guys kind of figure out how you can make your way to those life paths. I guess. So obviously,
Where is this in the manual that
So
I can look at?
all of the
options?
life paths are starting at page 163 in the manual.
Okay.
For humans, and it goes from 163 to 197.
Because I saw stuff for dwarves, but like,
Yeah, those life paths start the list, and then it goes to the
Okay.
human ones after that. So yeah, 163. So obviously,
are we
Carly,
supposed to like have the book up right now?
it'd probably be helpful.
Rip.
So
okay, here we go. Life paths of man.
Yep.
Is that what it would be? I
Yep.
guess.
And so there are several different settings.
That's
So
page 164.
well, 163 like on the number on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, 164 in the PDF.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So everybody first has a born life path. So what are you born as? So there are 6 choices: born peasant, born village born, city born, born noble, born slave.
Wait, I'm not seeing any of. I'm seeing born
Yeah,
peasant, and that's
Right,
it.
yeah, they don't start
Well,
off.
then you scroll down.
There's a
couple
whole
pages.
bunch of settings. So basically the way this works is
Oh,
yeah, there are a whole bunch
so
of
the first one
settings.
is a peasant, and all the kind of
Yep,
peasants.
all the peasant settings life paths, yes. So each of these settings are its own particular category of life paths. And so there are 6 starting points that you can start with. So born peasant, so you're like a rural peasant on a farm somewhere.
Give me a second. I'm trying to open it in a different PDF viewer because the one I'm using is really slow.
Sure, yeah. And then it's village-born, city-born, slave-born, noble-born, and born on a ship. Basically, son of a gun. You're born at sea.
Is there like born ultimatum, born identity?
Born supremacy, yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, we're looking at our born identity right now.
That's a good one.
So obviously Carly's gonna be born noble. Alyssa, you're also gonna be born noble? Question mark.
Let me see what my options are. I'm still scrolling to get there. You said page 164.
164 on the PDF, yeah, is where the settings all start. But yeah, these are all gonna be a little hard to like sift through.
Man.
So really the only thing you need to worry about right away is how were you born? And we can work from there.
Right.
Let's see. For you guys, for Seth and Emily, I'm thinking City-born will probably be the best choice
That's what I was
for you.
thinking.
Because there are a lot of city life paths that I think are directly related to what you guys are probably going to choose.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, I'll be city-born then.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Where
So
do we put that?
as we're going through these, what you can do is you can go on your character sheet in the tab, not the top tab, but the information, stat, skills, combat. Character burner is what you want to click. And this is where you're going to put all the information for making the character. So step one is character concept. Step 2 is life paths. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to put the name of the life path in there, so City-born, and then you're going to put all the relevant information from that life path into the next fields. So the time it took, any lead. Lead is if you switched settings, then you get a year extra of time on how old you are. Resource RES is resource points. Any stat increases, mental or physical.
Wait, so do we put in like the base one of like? Do we put in like the base of 12 years, 10?
Yeah. So you said
Or do we
you're going through
pick one-
City-born, you would put time 12, RES 10, stat nothing. And then you would put 4 points in the general, and then 1 point in trait. There, that field. These are all-
Wait, and so 4 in general and 1 in trait. Okay.
Yep. And those are all be added up later, and we'll give you things. Yeah, you don't.
And then I go from there and pick one under.
Yeah, if you go from there, and you can. So if you see on leads on City-born, you can go from here to any city dweller path. So you can stay in the same setting, or you can go to servitude, court, noble, or outcast. From there. But so you're probably thinking. So what did you spend your life doing? Like, we know you end up. Were you a detective before this? At some points.
I'm thinking like I probably was like I would try to be a detective, but ended up like failing and getting kind of outcast in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of did odd jobs here and there where I could. And this was like my ticket to like try and get back in with everything.
Sure. Yeah. Let me double check.
As whether that would have.
What the life path for that, for like being a detective, would actually be. So there's like lawyer life paths and stuff. I think it would be you'd start off as like here's constable. It's in noble court. But to be a constable in this particular way, it's a noble profession, so you have to be a noble to have been like a noble. This is like a noble court constable. Let me see if there's something in city that makes more sense.
So it could lead to noble then.
Yeah. So the issue is you have to have certain there's certain requirements for some of these life paths, and the requirements for that for constable was like you have to be a captain, a baron, a lord, one of those life paths before you can choose that one. And I don't think you're gonna have a chance to have any of those. So let's look. You could have jail warden. But you would have to have born noble, merchant, sergeant, man-at-arms, or judge before that. Let's see. You could be a hospital warden. You could be an advocate. That's a legal advocate.
Is there something? What's it? Legal advocate. That could do something like that. What about? is there something like for like kind of like a journalist of sorts? Like maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm not necessarily like a
I mean, given that this is
not
still the
necessarily
Renaissance,
a-
there's not really a journalist as a profession.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, my
Well, there were
guess would...
newspapers at the time, weren't
No, that was. I mean, I think the printing press has been invented by now in this setting, probably, but newspapers are like a regular. I guess there are probably newspapers. Yeah. I'm not sure what the life path for that would be. I don't know if.
I'm looking to see if there's any life paths that make sense for.
So my initial thought would be taking student next, which it gives you a opportunity for a lot of different life paths that require like training.
Makes sense too.
Yeah,
These
like,
are not in alphabetical order.
No,
and
they
it's
definitely
really.
Yeah, because you could go student advocate, and so you were like a legal advocate for someone, and then from there.
How many of these are we picking?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, so keep in mind leads.
Oh my gosh.
requirements.
So this automatically makes us a certain age.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where's student?
Student should be one of the first ones in city.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I think
Where do I
Assuming
become
one
a
of
young
mine is gonna be
lady?
student, that would make sense.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Young lady is in the noble paths.
Oh, okay.
That's like you're just a lady in a house for a long time.
Oh, I can become a city wife and get skills in child rearing.
That's true. And you get half of the skill points of whoever your husband is. So you could be married to a whoever, and then you get half of
Their skills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Interesting. Oh my gosh, there's so many though.
I know, yeah. And so I'm gonna work through these with Seth right now, and then I'll go to each of you as we go through. So what kind of let's talk about this, I guess, Seth. What kind of skills do you want access to? Like, what kind of stuff do you want to know?
And like
because like so
being like able to investigate or something like that, I figured.
Right. So you'll have general skill points that you can definitely spend on observation. That's the skill you're definitely going to want to have for sure. I don't think a whole lot of life paths just give that, but you have general points from your born life path to use for that. So let's say you chose student and advocate. Where's student?
Student is on page 171.
Okay. So you would, if you chose student, you would have the option to get write, read, philosophy, rule of law, history, symbology, anatomy, astrology, inconspicuous, streetwise, and citywise. Many of those would be definitely useful in your line of work.
I only picked one of them?
No, you have 11 points to distribute among them.
Oh, and so I put those in my skills.
Yes. So if you're choosing that, okay, so yeah, so if that's what you're choosing, so yeah, you put 11 points in there. So the way this works is the first skill on that list you get automatically. So you would go ahead and mark the required box, and then so the root for right is like your stat root. Let's see, it is perception and agility. So I'll put that in. So let's see. That automatically is opened because you have to have it. Read is a separate skill, so you don't necessarily have to know how to read to know how to write. But because of the way medieval societies work, like there are people who were taught to write and not to read. It's a thing.
You can copy letters, but you don't know what they mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I would need to know how to read if.
I think so
what
too.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and so basically you would put the rest of those, and you don't have to do any of the skill points now. It's just we know you automatically have right. But just go ahead and list all the rest of them in there. So read, philosophy, rule of law, history, symbology, anatomy, astrology, inconspicuous, streetwise, and citywise. And those are all options that you can choose with your pool of skill points that you get at the end of creation. And I'll go ahead and mark what their roots are because I know them. It's the stat they're based on. You're going to have a lot of perception skills, so I would make sure to have a good perception.
And so from there, you said an advocate?
So yeah, an advocate would be like a legal advocate in a court, and that seems like a what would make sense in a society such as this.
Mm-hmm.
And
where's that?
So it's on 175 of the like book itself, not the PDF, but on the bottom of the page, it says 175. You would get rule of law, which is obviously an important skill to have. It's already on your list. Yeah, that's true. But you would automatically open that one. And then bureaucracy, which would be good to have, knowing how to.
I'll mark it up.
And then persuasion, history, and rhetoric. Many of those would be good to have. Having persuasion in Burning Wheel is a very good thing. You're going to be doing a lot of persuading to people. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good life path for you. Oh, sorry. There's also trait things on these life paths. So for student, you get 3 trait points. So in that section there, just put 3. And then you automatically get the trait Rabble Rouser.
Let me go back up so I can see where the stuff is.
Yeah, so if you go back to student, you're going to put those 3 traits in your trait list, which is below the skills on this sheet.
There's so many things.
Yes.
So I get Rabble
Rouser. You get that automatically, so you are automatically a Rabble Rouser. These can be voted off your character if you play to them and it doesn't end up coming up.
What about drunk and geometric? Should I write those down too?
Yes, you write those down, and those are options that you can choose. Geometric is a good trait because it gives you +1 dice when you're working with anything mathematical, basically.
Okay. And where do I put those 3 points?
In the life paths on the trait part. So where all the information was, all the little points are put.
Okay.
Yeah, put a 3 there. So from there, the question is,
what about the 5 and the +1 M? What are those?
On advocate.
On student.
On student.
There's a 5 on time. Okay, 5 is time.
4 is time. Or no,
4
sorry.
is time.
4 is time. 5 is resources.
Okay.
So that's more resource
And then the
points.
+1 M.
That is, you put a 1 on the M there with stats, so you get 1 more mental pool stat point.
Okay.
So you'll be better at mental stuff. Yes, and then advocate.
175.
Yeah, advocate is 6 years, 25 resource points, +1 mental as well.
So that's it's 6 years, 25 resource.
Mm-hmm. You get paid well as an advocate, turns out.
Skills 6, trait 1.
So you get 1 point, and then you automatically spend that. So the way that works is every time you get one of those traits, it costs 1. So you automatically spend that point and get the trait Shrewd.
Oh, so I don't put that there?
You still put the point there. It's just that technically every time you get a trait, it costs 1. So
Shrewd.
Yeah,
I'll mark that as required, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. I think that's a good trait.
And it costs 1?
Yep.
Okay.
The trait Shrewd means... Oh, it's just a character trait. Never mind. It doesn't give me
and then from there... So I have to pick 1 more. Would that be then Outcast?
You could go. Okay, so from advocate, you can go to outcast, noble, court, or villager. Yeah, I think outcast makes a lot of sense, right? This is your down on your luck situation. Outcast life paths are later on.
I thought I saw it on here.
They're right at the end
of
the list of all these.
Oh, so it's a kind of
outcast. It's a setting, yeah. So just like city just like city dweller, it's like it's on 193. It starts. And so there's a bunch of interesting things in here that could give you like sort of dirtier skills, like blackmailing people and stuff like that. Depends on what you did as an outcast. Like what did you do to get by when you were in the streets?
Let's see. Can't be an urchin.
Yeah, it's like you grew up a child of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a
I
black.
can't read. I can't read this one. It says, "Oh, deranged." No.
Yeah, you could
What's
go
a-
mad.
What's a foos?
A fence. So like you fence goods.
Oh, fence.
Yeah. So fence.
Okay,
stolen
it
goods,
looks like
basically.
it says foos in this scan.
Yeah.
It looks like a U. I could be a prostitute.
You could. Yep. You could have sold your
I'm
body
not going to be a
to the
prostitute.
streets.
That is possible.
Yep.
Itinerant performer.
Yeah, you could be a street performer. You could be a poisoner, a cultist, a thug. Oh, thug is a great life path. You get streetwise, murder-wise, guard-wise, brawling, and the trait cold-blooded.
There's thinker.
You might not be able to take that one. It can only be taken
Yeah,
if
I'm
this
looking
character's
at this.
starter age will be 36 or older. If you
And I will
let's
not
see.
be. I will be.
Well,
I'll
no,
be
it's
22.
with that life path if you'll be 36 or older. So 22.
No. Well, yeah, I would be 37 at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Would that be worth it though?
I mean, you would get philosophy, strategy games, calligraphy, history, painting, and 1 point of general. Like, this is you going off into the woods and being a thinker, like
Oh no, that's not what
a
I'm doing.
philosopher. Yeah, I don't think that's what you did. Thug, honestly, is what I'm thinking. Like, that seems like maybe what you did. Like, and it gives you a lot of good stuff. Having the, like, okay, Seth, hear me out. Having the skill murder-wise will help you so
Tremendously.
much.
I'll be a thug.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Trying
you
to
will
make
be able to fork that in all the time.
Trying to make me a degenerate.
Yep.
So that's 4, 7.
And then you get one lead on this one because you changed to a different setting, so you get one more year.
Oh, so it's 5.
No, I already, you put it in the lead category, so I put a 1 in there already.
There's no M or P's. 4 skills, 2 traits.
And so
And
you
then-
automatically get the skill streetwise. Streetwise is already in your list there, actually.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it was from advocate or
Oh, right. I see now.
student.
There's so many.
Yeah, there are.
Murder wise. That just means I know what murder.
You know
things
about
happen.
murder, yeah, exactly. Wises are very useful in
Guard.
this game because you can constantly
Wise.
just like fork them in when you're trying to do something related to that thing. So anytime you make any roll related to murder, you can fork in murder wise.
Cold blooded, I get automatically.
Yeah, you automatically get the trait cold blooded, which is a fun trait.
Is it 2 points though? Does it cost me?
Nope. All of the life path traits cost 1. You can buy other traits, but besides the life path traits, but they cost more.
And then jaded. That sounds like a good one for me.
yeah. I think Jade is just
I'm sorry. I meant in game. Just
right. Cold-blooded means this murderous soul has had a belly full of killing and he won't hesitate to do more. Reduce hesitation for death, violence, and pain by 1. So there's a mechanic called
that's
the
a little
steel.
more than I expected.
Yeah, there's a mechanic called the steel test, which basically you roll whenever you would be shocked or like struck still by something. And so you're jaded, you're cold-blooded, so death, violence, and pain don't phase you as much as it would someone else. Cool. Yeah, and I think jaded is just a character trait, but oh no. Oh, wow, this is a really good one. You should definitely get that trait. It's so many years and so much humanity has this character seen. Life seems to be an endless repetition of petty struggles. I tire of this game. Reduce hesitation for surprise or shock by 3. That's tremendous. You're not surprised or shocked by anything.
Okay.
Finds out the murderer. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can totally do it.
Just as I suspected.
I knew it was Emily's character all along. She was too innocent. Also, hey, I would like to just say this. If any of you does want to be the person who murdered the guy, please.
All of us are
can.
secretly messaging Caleb
Well,
right
so
now,
that's the thing.
including Seth.
So the thing with Burning Wheel,
Including Seth.
the thing with Burning Wheel is there are no secret like beliefs or goals. It's not in the game. You're supposed to have them all out in front. So if someone is the murderer, everyone else will know, but we will have to play as if we don't.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
Okay.
everyone will know. There are no secret. There are some secrets. Like you can obviously message me secret things. But like for if you want to like have a belief, and those are main parts of the game, they have to be public. So if you want to make any sort of goal off of like making sure you don't get caught, everyone's gonna know that you're the murderer. So.
Hey, I just realized my character is the same age as me.
Nice. Yeah, you're 27. Okay, cool. So we'll leave that there, and we'll come back to the skills and all that stuff, Seth. I'll go to Emily now and help her figure out her life paths. What are you thinking, Em?
Okay. I kind of think I went through and did all the stuff.
Okay.
City-born, baker. Then I realized my true dreams of performing.
Oh, 4 life paths.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Then I realized my true dream of performing.
Yes.
So I became a performer, and then realized you still need extra money too, besides
Right.
performing.
Yeah.
So I still bake, and then it's helpful in the opera to know how to sew things
True. Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
So I'm also
Like
a seamstress.
Nice. Oh, that's so
So-
interesting. That's awesome.
Just doing all the things, trying to get by.
Yeah. Cool.
So I started putting stuff in, but I don't really understand everything that I'm supposed to click.
Yeah, sure. So let's find. So Cityborn, you already put that. That's all general stuff. Baker.
Like I put baking as my required skill, and then
Yeah, so what you're gonna do-
flowery
yeah.
as my required
Yeah.
trait. But I didn't know what else you do with that.
Right. So you're gonna put in all of the other skills that are in that list, just in the list right there. These are not the skills that you will end up with. These are just skills that are possible for you to have.
Okay, so I put all the skills.
Yeah, you
under
put all of them in
everything.
there. So cooking, daily bread wise, sweet tooth wise. Those are fun wises to have.
Yes.
Yeah. So those
Alyssa,
are all
I don't know
possible.
if you knew, but there's an interpreter life path.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's interpreter of like one language to another, like
Right.
of vocal languages, but that would make sense also as a. Oh, what setting is
Wait.
Languages.
Where is that?
Oh, you're really loud, Alyssa.
Yeah.
What?
Page...
You're really loud.
Very loud.
Super loud.
I'm really loud.
Yeah.
Not so
That's
much
better.
now, but you were.
It's page 186 on the PDF.
Oh, is it in?
It's in the religious subsetting.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So interpreter is, I mean, honestly, this does make sense because ancient languages would definitely be,
Yeah.
I think, the skill here.
Okay, so I don't have to pick something then that's just from
So it depends.
Noble? I'm confused.
Yeah, so it depends. There are leads. So, Em, you can just go ahead and put all that stuff in. Alyssa, so you're born noble, and then do you have any thoughts beyond that, or you still figuring
So
it out?
my other, I mean, because I didn't know that I could go beyond just Noble.
Yeah, it depends
but-
on what life path you choose, but yeah,
I was thinking young lady
yeah, that makes sense.
because my parents wanted me to be like a nice,
Mhm,
prim, proper
mhm,
person.
of
I was
course.
like, I want to study.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking student.
Mm-hmm.
And then just because I didn't know that there was an interpreter one, arcane devotee. I thought that might
Arcane
be cool.
devotee, yeah.
Because like, I mean, if we're saying sign language is kind of like an ancient,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I think
magical
that makes sense.
thing.
And I'm totally fine with like modifying that a little bit to instead of calligraphy having ancient languages or whatever, right? Like,
Right.
because I don't
Because
know.
I mean, obviously, sign language isn't
yeah.
written based.
Unless these are like
so-
I mean, they'd have to be like intricate diagrams, like showing you how to make the hand motions, right? Like, because
right. Well, that's
everybody-
symbology right there.
Yeah,
Symbology is part of this. So,
yeah.
am
I'm
I
fine
still
with
really
just.
loud?
No, you're good. Now.
No.
Okay, good. Sorry.
You're good. Yeah. I'm fine with just like adding. I think we'll just add in ancient languages as one of the skills that you can have for that. I think that makes total sense.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So
And
then
so
I'm
you
not going
were-
to take the interpreter.
Yeah, and that's like specifically religious too. It would make sense, but you would have had to have. Okay, but it does make a lot of sense though, because we know that the ancient language was originally from this like empire that was very religious.
So you said it's on page 186.
it
I
might
haven't
make
really
sense.
looked at it yet.
Yeah. Okay. So the problem is
Interpreter.
students does not lead to religious.
It just says it requires student, young lady,
No,
simple
right. So
acolyte, extras, or theologian.
right. So what I'm saying is so if your first 3 life paths were born noble, young lady, and student, then from student you could do any other noble life path or any life path in the city dweller or noble court settings. You couldn't do it in religious. If you so we could modify this slightly and say, you could do born noble, young lady, and then young lady leads to religious, and you could do 2 interpreter. You can take life paths twice, by the way.
What?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Oh,
you can take life
jeez.
paths twice. Feel free to change
do I
that.
even want to be a baker, or do I want to be a double performer?
Yeah, I think it's just that after. I think it's like at 3. You can technically take a life path as many times as you want, but I think at the 3rd time, like you get less things for it, and then more and more less things, like less and less things as you take the life path.
I mean, as I kind of like the idea that I just like am knowledgeable about like a lot of things as well, and then I just like picked a specialty of like interpreting, but
yeah, the difference would be you learned this in a noble setting or you learned this at a church somewhere. Right? Like, it's up to you. I'm down with either one. It doesn't mean you have to be religious. It just means that's where you learned it.
Right. So we're saying it would be born noble, young lady,
and then from there you could go to the
interpreter,
religious setting.
student.
Actually, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you could do interpreter first and then student. Yeah, except I think, let me look.
I don't know if that makes sense.
You don't lead back to noble with that. You would have to lead back to either noble court.
I'm under noble court.
Let's see, noble court does not have a student life path, but I know city dweller does. So basically, if you decided to do that, you could do born noble, young lady, and then you ran away to the church, learned how to interpret these ancient languages, and then from there went to the city, like whatever college is there, and then learned other academic stuff, which is totally a thing. Yeah, that could work pretty nicely. Because maybe
like it the other way around, where like I like went to like a studious college, like my parents wanted me to, and then I was like, no, I want to go do my own thing. But I mean, that just doesn't work. Though,
well, yeah, let's look. I mean, there's a couple of different student life paths in various settings, so let's kind of finagle this and see what we can find. So if you did born noble, young lady, and then...
So where am I writing this? It's under the life paths, right?
Yes. Yeah, so you're going to be putting all this information in there.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just put
under
the name in there
time, and then under the time, you just put...
Yep, whatever
years,
it says
right?
there, yeah. So for, it would be 10 years, 20 resource points.
Wait,
I can help you put it in.
20 resource points.
I'll put in the stuff for born noble, the other stuff.
Okay.
And you get 5 general and 1. You get the trait mark of privilege, which is a fun trait. Mark of privilege, your lordship, your eminence, and your grace. Your eminence. Oh, I haven't been on the Roll20 screen. Nobody's been able to see what's going on. Eminence and your grace. Okay. So, yeah, and then for young lady, you get... Young ladies actually get a ridiculous amount of skill points. They get a lot of stuff. You get, like, write, read, etiquette, astrology, musical instrument, composition, field dressing, apothecary, and doctrine. Lots of interesting things.
Nice.
Question that we'll probably go over later, but I just want to know now, for the general skill points that I get for being city born, is that just I can pick 4 general skills from the traits or the skills section, or do I need to have them listed in my other born things life path?
Say it again.
So you get 4 general skill points for being city born.
Yes.
Am I allowed to choose from whatever skills that are in the skill list, or do I need to choose ones that are from my other life paths?
So the way that it works is any of the skills that are from your life paths, you use the regular skill points to buy those.
Mm-hmm.
From general, you can get any skill with those. So
okay,
whether or not it's on your life path.
So I can choose anything.
Yep.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I need to write. So then I need to write these skills down here.
Yes. So you would list all these skills. So write, read, etiquette, astrology, musical instrument, composition, field dressing, apothecary, and doctrine.
Okay. Include. Oh, and then skills general. What does that mean for born noble? Sorry, I think you just went over that with Emily.
You're good. Yeah. So that means just skill points you can spend on anything, not just the ones in your list.
Oh, okay.
So we'll probably go through those last.
Right. Okay, so how do we want to finagle this? Because I don't understand like how it works.
That's totally fine. Yeah, I'll look again. Let's see. So young lady, and then from young lady you could go to city dweller and do student. Oh yeah, student. Actually, okay, you can just do it in reverse. You can do student in the city and then go to interpreter if you wanted to.
Okay.
Because it can lead to religious. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead and put in those skills, and then I'll go ahead and put in these.
Okay, perfect.
These life paths in there for you. So we got student, 4 years, 5 resources, 1 mental.
Is the skills the same in like noble as it is in city student?
I think there are slight differences with each of them.
Yeah,
I'll read them off. Generally, how many?
Every single time I hear the word apothecary, I'm just like, my apothecary table! My friends.
So, man, you're going to get so many skill points, Alyssa. It's ridiculous.
Because I'm a lady who don't need no man. I can take care of myself.
You also have the trait rabble rouser. So depending on how this works, you may have ended up going, because you went to the city college, you may have ended up going to college or going to the school the same time that Seth's character did. So that might be fun.
Depending on what age what age is it looking like she's gonna end up being?
Yeah, that'll depend.
It matters.
I'm not sure. I think she might end up being older than you, actually.
Yeah, young lady takes like 10 years, so.
Yeah, most of my things are pretty quick.
Okay, so wait, so student under the city. I'm just looking for the skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put the traits in already.
Okay, it's under the city dweller setting, right?
Yep. So 171.
So do I need to repeat skills in here or
nope.
no?
If it's already in there, then just skip it.
Oh man, there's so many. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all these in here. Wow.
And then from there, you're doing interpreter. Okay. Yeah, so you've just spent the last 5 years of your life interpreting ancient documents to learn this language. Cool. So 5, 10 resource points. 7 skill points, and
did I already? I think I already put in astrology.
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
You have the trait.
Inconspicuous.
Yeah. So far, you have the traits: mark of privilege, rabble rouser, and ink-stained hands. You could also get the trait condescending.
Yeah, maybe that's no way nobody's married me yet.
I mean, that and you're a woman who reads. I mean, come on.
I mean, exactly. Who wants that?
It's terrifying. Okay.
City-wise. Okay, and then I'm almost there, so I gotta now put in my skills for interpreter.
Yep. Read ancient languages, instruction, write doctrine, foreign languages. So I think most of those are already in your list. It would just be ancient languages, instruction, and foreign languages.
Okay.
So the ancient languages skill is the skill for the sign language.
Okay.
And you also just happen to know the another country's language, probably, if you choose foreign languages as a skill. So you automatically get the skills right. And what's the one you get for student? And read. And ancient languages. You automatically get those. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, we can come back to that. Carls, what are you thinking?
I've got 3 life paths on here, but I don't know. I don't think I have done all the things I need to do with them. I don't know what else to pick.
Okay, so you're a born noble, student, young lady. I don't know. What did you spend your time doing? You can just take young lady again and get 11 more skill points if you want.
Oh my gosh. What?
I mean, I was looking at the PDF, and
There's some fun ones
I
you
don't
could
know if I can do this, but gardener is on here, and obviously she wouldn't be like a gardener that like worked for someone, but
yeah,
I
like
just thought maybe she like keeps her own garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's a noble court setting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could do that. I don't, unless there's any requirements to say you can. No, they aren't. Yeah, you could do gardener if you want. You want to be a herbalist or whatever?
Yeah.
Plant flowers all day? Sure, yeah. Okay. Yeah, gardener. So you'd get the skills plant-wise, flower-wise, tree-wise, pest-wise, herbalism, farming, and almanac.
Nice.
I guess
Okay.
floral arrangements are going to feature prominently in this game.
Well, that's appropriate. We keep the name Lavender.
That's true. Oh, yeah.
You know what I just realized about my character? I'm kind of
What?
Hawkeye at the beginning of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. You gonna have a dead family?
At my age, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, people in the medieval ages got married pretty young.
I know. That's why I said maybe.
Yeah.
I know, my character's 27. I'm an old hag for sure.
I know, I'm
so you're-
26.
You guys are the same age then.
We probably went to the same school then.
Unless she went to the school at a different time than you,
Okay,
which I think is true.
Caleb, question for you.
Oh wait, no, she's 28. Sorry. No, wait, she's 29. Because every time you go to a different setting, you get another year added on. So she's 2 years older than you. And wait,
I was a student at 12 years old to 16 years old.
Yeah, no,
I was not.
She was a young lady during that time, so you guys didn't go to school at the same time. But
My
you
parents
probably
really
went
just
the same
wanted to
school.
marry me off to somebody wealthy, and I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, question. So if I do performer twice instead of baker, like what do I just do the exact same thing for performer?
Yeah, so you would double up, and I think the second one gives you the same amount of stuff. Let's see.
I'm trying to decide if I want that or not.
Yeah, you would automatically. So normally the way these life paths work is you automatically get the first skill on the list no matter what, and you automatically get the first trait on the list no matter what. And so for you, you would automatically get acting the first time you got it, but you would automatically get persuasion the second time because it's the second time you've gotten the life path. So you would do the second skill on the list. I think that's honestly the only difference. Otherwise, you get all the same things for the second time you do a life path. So you would get 2 more trait points You've already had the trait colorful, so you don't get it again.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if... No. I will just first be a baker and then realize my dreams.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, I don't know if
yeah.
I'm doing all of the skill stuff right. I don't think I am.
Yeah, let me look.
Like with the points and stuff.
And
like putting in the skills. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like all the numbers are in the right place. You're
Okay.
1 year older than that. You're 27, because you changed settings once. This is general skill points, not.
Okay.
But I think that's the only difference. Yeah, I think that looks correct. So you would just go ahead and go through those life paths and just list all of the skills in those life paths in order on that list there, and I can help you with that too. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm probably getting ahead of everything that we're doing, but like,
what is
I'm not even looking at the
Can
next
you
stuff because I just.
That's okay. Yeah.
So can you use your skill points and stuff to like, instead of choosing a bunch of different things, like be really good at certain things? I'm assuming.
No. So skill points are only for these skills. But before you do any of the
Because
skill
it's like
stuff,
I have 19 skill points, but I don't think I have 19 skills to even learn.
Yeah. So you would. Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yes. So 1 point to open them, another point ever to increase it by 1. But all this depends on your stats, so we need to do that next.
Okay.
Okay. So I think
Should
everybody
I go
is good with
ahead
that.
and add my general things that I also want to do, or do you wait until stats to see if you want to do more or it'd be better?
Let's just leave it for now, and we'll do stats. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone has an age. Should have. So what is everybody's age?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's age.
26.
27.
29.
You're muted, Carly.
Oh.
Oh, now you're not. Wait.
No, I'm not.
You just, I think you talked too quiet or something. So you're 27 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, everybody's pretty much the same age. Alyssa's the oldest. So the way
Y'all do call me big sister, so
Yeah,
there you go.
So the way this is going to work is on the, so you see, follow the numbers, 1, character concepts, 2, life paths, 3, age, 4, stats. You consult the age chart, and so you're going to, on that, I'll just do it for all of you. It's just a quick, like, figuring out what your starting stats is. I saw that, yeah. So let's see, you're 27, so you're going to choose this 26 to 29 range. Actually, I think everybody is in that range.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody's within 26 to 29. So, let me make sure everybody is at that. 26 to 29. Okay, so this should determine your starting pools. So what you're going to do is first you're going to look at your mental pool. So right below where it says the ages and stuff, you're going to see...
That where crazy people swim?
Yes, the mental pool, yeah. You're going to see the mental pool, and so that's the amount of... So it's already put in 1 in all of the stats, because you have to have at least 1 in all of these stats. So technically you had 9 to work with, but it already put in 2 of them. For you, Seth, at least. That's what we're looking at right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to split these up amongst the will and perception. So to preface this, wait, let me go to the will is social skills, talking to people, force of personality, that sort of thing. Perception is knowing stuff. So that's the difference there.
But I want to try and be both.
And you can
then
just
evenly divide them.
And so
but I can't because which one's more important?
That's true. You have an odd number.
I have an odd number. Which one would be better to have 1 extra point in? And with the scores I'm giving myself in being more helpful or detrimental. So if I did like this, where it's 5 and 4, are those good stats?
Yes, those
would be better to push more into one direction.
No, so the way it works is all of the skills, they open at half of the stat rounded down. So having 4 and 5, that means all of your mental skills will automatically open at 2. If you had your will at 3, for example, any will skills would open at 1 instead. So having them at 4 and 5 is good because then it's even across the board, and you'll have them at 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move for sure. And so yeah, same thing for you guys. And I can tell you as well like what these skills would be using. I think it's usually pretty straightforward. But
I need agility and speed because it's based on what your skills are with, right?
Yes.
Because like I need agility for sewing and speed if I'm going to add dancing.
None of my roots have any physical skills.
Brawling does.
Did you look through the traits?
Right now.
Yeah, I was about to say you have to look through the whole traits thing and then read and see.
I thought Caleb said he had changed them all.
I did most of them. I didn't do all of them yet. I think they're all changed now. Yeah, just your brawling is power based.
What? So power is obviously like your strength score, agility.
Yes. So yeah, for physical. Yeah, so agility. Basically, the easiest way to explain agility versus speed is agility is your hands, speed is your feet. Anything related to your hand-eye coordination, dexterity of your fingers, shooting something, that sort of thing. That's agility. Speed is anything about running, dancing, climbing, anything like that.
What is forte?
How loud we are?
It's pronounced fort, and it's basically your constitution. That's basically what it is.
Okay, so that's probably important.
It is because it's the basis of your health.
HP
stuff.
Essentially.
Yeah, your wound. List.
So what do you mean by things opening at 2 or 1?
So basically, it costs 1 skill point to open a skill, which automatically opens it at whatever the half the root is. So whatever if you opened up read, it would be 2 because your perception is 5.
Oh, so you mean whatever it starts at?
That's whatever it starts at, and then from there it costs 1 skill point to increase it by 1. None of these skills and no stats can be higher than a 6. 6 is the cap for character creation.
Okay. So. Forte was Constitution.
Yeah.
Like, for what situations is that going to come up in?
That determines your wounds. So how easily you get hurt. That's pretty much the only thing it determines. It also, I guess, determines drinking, but...
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
For power, if I don't have any power skills, is power really going to come into play unless somebody tries to, fight me?
Yeah, it's basically just if you're trying to climb a wall, or not climb a wall, but, punch someone or wrestle someone or, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so if I don't really plan on really doing anything, I'm just...
Yeah, I would have... Okay, another thing to notice about stats is when you get a wound of any sort, the wounds decrease the amount of dice you have and everything, pretty much. And so if you have an amount of dice decreased from wounds equal to any of your stats, you go unconscious. So having a stat at 1 is a bad idea because you take a light wound, you're instantly unconscious, and you're in a coma, basically.
Oh gosh.
Well, this is really annoying.
You want to keep them even. Don't try to min-max so much as making sure you're not going to just die because you got a punch in the face. So.
Okay, Caleb, question. Would I need to have a skill on which to determine, similar to Alyssa's, how well I'm actually communicating?
Oh, right. For the language, you would probably have to take ancient languages as part of your general skills. That would be.
Okay.
So that would just be the skill there.
So you said having your physical and mental pools kind of evenly split is a good idea then?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Don't try to min-max for stats in this game. It's not going to work in your favor.
That's so weird.
Do I just add that skill then, or do I need to?
Yeah, you can just add it to your list. Yep.
Okay.
But what if I just wanted to be a really good dancer?
What do you mean?
I was putting my speed up high so I could be an excellent dancer.
I mean, yeah, you could be a great dancer, and then as soon as someone punches you slightly, you get a bruise and then internally bleed until you die. That could be a thing that happens.
I mean, yeah, that's just what happens normally. I bruise easily.
Yes, Emily, if you want to play yourself, then... No,
yes, excellent dancer, of course.
I'll be right back.
I would like to point out the irony of the fact that 2 of my skills are musical instrument and composition.
Nice. Probably. I mean,
I don't know how.
So,
vibrations.
I mean,
man.
it doesn't say that you're in
Vibrations.
tune when you play
Yeah.
the musical instrument.
I mean, it does. That's
Fair.
what that skill means.
Oh.
It means that you're good at
Wow.
it.
Okay.
Maybe
I mean, are you saying deaf people can't play music because Beethoven?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah,
Well,
there are lots of...
pianos are just, you have somebody tune it once and they stay in tune for quite some time
That's actually true.
if they don't move. Whereas, like, if you're playing clarinet, every time you put your clarinet together, it depends on where your barrel is.
Yeah.
If it's going to be sharp or flat or in tune or not.
I mean, you can still do it. It's just a lot harder.
Right.
Yeah.
Not arguing that point. So for my, I need to fix my skills, correct? Because I'm assuming they're not all will skills.
Yes, they are not. I'll go through real quick, and I think I probably remember what they are. Perception and agility. Most of these are just one skill, but some of them have 2 roots. So it's you add them up and then divide them into.
So would there be any benefit to me having, like, because I know that most of these skills that I'm gonna want to take are perception skills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, would it benefit me to have like 3 will and 6 perception?
Given the way you've described your character, I think that makes sense because it doesn't sound like your character's too good at social graces, which I think makes sense, right? I think that
basically I've just created Ari all over again.
Ari, except she's really, really academic.
I mean, so is Ari. Kind of, she knows a ton of languages,
but it's Ari without being a ranger.
Right.
It's just Ari if she studied. Forever.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that too. The problem is that I also need to be kind of talky to people.
Yes, if you want exactly, you want to be both for your character.
Right.
If I had one more.
So like 3 will only get me like 1 though, right?
Correct.
Yes. Any will skill will open at 1.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, over here on my mental pool, right? Like, if I put down 3 and then perception is 6, does my perception go up if I do like a 2 for will and then a 7 for perception?
6 is that the cap for all those.
Oh, right. Okay, got it.
But no, it's rounded down, so putting it to a 7 would not make any of your perception skills open higher.
Got it.
Yeah.
Kind of like just like in D&D.
Yeah, there's like.
And can we upgrade these pools later?
Yeah. So we'll get to advancement when we actually start playing the game, probably. Yeah.
Because having that perception at 6 would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll have opportunities.
I have a lot of perception skills.
Yeah, you'll have opportunities to increase these for sure.
Okay, so, geez, that would make me a good singer, but not a good actress. If I put my will up to 6 and my perception down to 2, then I would be a good singer, persuader,
really
all of that stuff. But I'm not very
unaware.
smart.
Oh, perception is also perception, like, being able to notice things.
Yeah. Do I want to
if you want to play the ditzy actress.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to decide because I'm like, maybe I'm really good at singing and dancing, but not so good at acting, which is why I can't ever have a lead role.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Caleb, can you go over how to do stats again?
Yeah. Oh, I realized streetwise is perception, Seth. I just changed that.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Wait, who was I? I was on yours.
You're the one who knows what's happening. I'm just kind of nodding and following along at this point.
Or
okay. Yours are good.
No, I'm just going to be even because I said I've never been good at anything in my life, so I can't be excellent at this.
You just want to stay on the character burner tab for now, Carly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so let me pop in the roots for this. What were you asking again?
How to do stats, but I don't know if I'm
Yeah, sure. Okay, so basically you have 7 points to work with, and you can add them to either will or perception. So for you, it depends on what you want to be good at, because your character hasn't had. We haven't determined exactly what your thing is. I mean, except for gardening, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? What are you thinking?
I don't know.
I mean, you have an interesting bit of skills to work with.
Yeah.
You're an interesting person for sure.
I mean, what's gonna be the difference between will and perception?
So will is social skills, and perception is
Okay.
knowing stuff and like noticing things.
Okay.
Oh, I clearly need this.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at my general points where they're going to be going.
Mm-hmm.
And bye-bye observation. Hello theatrics.
I'm not even bothering looking at that stuff yet. I haven't read.
Well,
through
there's
as
so
much of
many.
it.
You might want to start.
Well,
See
the way I see it, the skills I have are probably going to be the ones I pick. What page are they on, though?
they're on many pages that start at
Yeah, the skill list starts
let's see. Skills start at
252, 253 in the PDF.
yeah, and it goes to like
300 something.
300, yeah.
That's a
That's why I'm
lot.
like,
Yep.
right, that's why
There is a
it goes
skill
to
for everything in
310.
this game.
So that's why I was like, you might want to start looking at it.
And honestly,
Because
it would be
there's a
good to look
lot.
through those, Seth, because then you also can determine if you want any general skills, like any skills that's not on your list that you really do want to have.
So, because I also have a general skill as well. So
Yeah,
like,
everybody has general points that they can spend.
Where is that?
Where is what?
For general skills.
So yeah, it's just the skill list. It would be page 252, 253 on the PDF.
And you can choose any of them, right?
Yeah, so with general
your
points,
general points.
yeah, you can choose any skill on that list, except for I guess there's some magical ones and whatnot, but that obviously wouldn't come into play. But
Well, I'm going for non-magic ones.
yeah, they
Unless you
have
count,
requirements on there if they do.
Unless you count the magic of seduction.
You have seduction?
I'm going to.
Nice. Oh, that's a great skill. You can have the skill
Arson?
farming, Carly.
Arson is a skill?
Yeah.
And you can burn
Oh my gosh.
Burninating the countryside.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay, so Carly, your skills should all be good there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you have mostly perception skills. You have no physical skills whatsoever.
I mean, probably
Oh,
fair.
that's no okay, except for write and musical instrument, they take agility, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to be good at, right? Like, what do you picture yourself doing? I guess if you do, okay. So, does your character actually care about wooing whoever your parents want you to? Like, do you care about that, or do you want to do something else?
I mean, I think she cares about like finding a person to marry, but she doesn't necessarily like any of the people that her parents have set her up with. So
Black metal. This game has music in it.
I think that's an orc skill. I don't think you can get that.
Okay, Caleb, so for using the skill points, you click the open thing and that's how you do it?
So you start with that. You'll click open, and if you have your stats stuff all set up, it should already show what the final is, and that's what it opens at normally. And then you would put any skill points you're spending in the advance tab. All of them at 0, and so that would increase the final by whatever amount of points you spend in it. And so because it's adding them all up on the top here with the next to 5 skill remaining root up there, it should automatically show you how many skill points you have left. But this is also your general points. They're all smashed together in one pile.
Right.
So just keep that in mind when you're determining where they are.
I might go through and try and organize these in alphabetical order later.
Oh, wow. You only have 7 skill points to work with?
Me?
Oh, you've already started spending them, I see.
Oh, yeah, I'm spending stuff. So if you put 0 in it. They're just open at the level of your pools, right?
Oops.
Yep, they just open at whatever your half your
Okay,
or status.
but then the advanced one, that advances it like 1 above what you're
one above what
opening it
the route would be. Yeah.
at, right? Okay.
Yep. There's no like you have to spend 1 to get it to this rank or whatever. You know,
Okay.
2 to get
Cool.
it. Yeah.
Cool.
It's just 1 for 1, but maximum's 6. Man, yeah, I'm just looking at the difference between the amount of skill points that you have, Emily, versus the amount of skill points that Alyssa's character has. She has 31 to work with.
Oh my gosh, I had 19, I think.
I have no idea what I want because I still need to pick like some general skills apparently. So
Yeah. I mean,
you don't technically need to, right?
You don't need to. You can technically spend those general skill points also on your life path skills. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know, but I'm also looking through this list and I'm only on G, and I'm like, holy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You can also just ask me what is the thing that you might want to be good at, and I can tell you what skill that is. Persuasion is always a good one to have if you want to be able to persuade people to do anything. I mean, it's a skill.
I mean, we know how persuasion rolls play with me,
True,
so
true.
I think I should just give up on that altogether.
Okay, yeah.
Intimidation might be cool.
You could get intimidation.
That's a will skill, though.
Yeah.
Beer appraisal is a skill.
Yeah, beer
I know,
appraisal.
I saw that.
It's very important for dwarves.
For the wise thing, like,
yeah,
I was thinking of for a general point opening up gossip wise.
Yes.
Does that just mean I know
about
all the
gossip?
hot goss?
Yes, and you can roll it to generate gossip that is true or not true.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Okay.
So also, this is another thing to point. You can have a wise in anything. You can say blank wise, and you know about whatever that thing is, and that is wises are great because you can fork them into anything related to that thing.
Perfect.
So Seth has a murder wise, which is super helpful if he's investigating a murder.
If you're investigating murder, that is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So Caleb, what am I supposed to do with this chart? I'm still very behind.
What are you looking at?
Confused.
The pools?
I don't know.
What do you read? What you're looking at right now? Like what words are you looking at currently?
Just my skill chart. You said like you were asking what I wanted to be good at. I don't know what to do.
Oh, I see what
with
you're
that.
saying. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at your skill list there, right? Of stuff you can have. What of that list jumps out to you as things you're interested in, like being good at for this character? Like, do you want to be a great gardener? Is that like the plan? Yeah. Yeah, you could focus on that. I mean, herbalism is just a good skill generally to like help heal people and like give people soothing teas and all that jazz. That could be a thing. You could you could be good at rule of law or doctrine or etiquette. Those are good for noble people to have. Apothecary, obviously.
So do I just click the box?
Yeah, so you automatically have right. And sorry, what other ones do you have? You have right. And you chose. Do you have student as a life path? Yeah. You have write, read, and plant wise automatically. But then from there, so the little open section, has a little box that says open. You would just click on any of the ones that you want. So just go ahead and like open any of the skills that you know your character has in any capacity.
Okay.
So flower-wise, herbalism, ancient languages.
There's really weird skills in here.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Great wolf husbandry.
Yeah. Got to train your great wolves.
Like, I've seen a lot of animal husbandry.
What? There's a one called Ridiculous Request Wise?
Yeah. You know about ridiculous requests.
Great.
What? That sounds kind of intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say like what, like so what.
Yeah,
so what do wises do?
Wises just mean you know about whatever that thing is. And so you can, so there are two ways you can use them. Most of the time they're used to just fork into other roles. So say you're talking to a nobleman and he makes a ridiculous request of you. You're trying to convince him not to like go away. You can fork in ridiculous request wise because you know about this stuff. Or if you're trying to make a ridiculous request of someone else and you want to convince them that it's not ridiculous, you can fork in ridiculous request wise. Other ways you can do it is you could, I don't know how you would do it for ridiculous request isn't one that necessarily has the second use too often. But another way you can roll wises is just by themselves and roll to make a detail about the world true. So you can just be like, I'm going to roll up. Again, it doesn't really work for ridiculous request, but like say plant wise, for example. Carly has plant wise. She can literally at any point just roll plant wise to be like, this plant exists and it does this thing. So.
Got it. So
Yep.
it would be wise to take a wise something.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Those are good.
What
skills.
would daily bread wise mean?
You know about your daily bread. I don't know. It could be interpreted in a lot of different ways, right?
I'm just like, I have no idea.
Some of them are
what
meant to
that
be
really
vague so that
means.
you can interpret them in other ways.
Okay.
So yeah, if you took daily bread wise, it could be either literally having bread every day or, you know, prayers, right? Like that sort of thing.
Okay.
It could be either one.
There's rumor wise.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Court gossip wise is a great one for nobles. Okay, so noble wise is a great wise to have because you will get you'll be able to fork it in whenever you interact with any noble whatsoever.
Do I give up theatrics so I can be noble wise? That might be good for me.
Mm-hmm. So have you marked the ones you want, Carlos?
Yeah.
I don't even see noble wise anywhere.
I don't. I think it's just a general wise that may not be in the list.
Ooh, can I take sleight of hand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Minor tricks with small hands in the objects. I feel like that would be super cool for Carly and I, because then I can just like do secret
true. You can
things
do
to
secret
her.
Right.
signs. Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna take sleight of hand as one of them.
Perfect.
I'm still looking through all of them and writing down the ones that sound interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to do after that.
So how many general ones can I take?
Well, so it depends on how good you want to be at any one of them, right? So you have 5 points to work with. So you could just take 5 skills and they're all opened at whatever their default is. Or you can be like, I want to be really good at this at sleight of hand and then just put all of your points in it. So you'd open it for 1 and then put 4 in it.
So maybe like 2 would be good.
Yeah, you could do 2 and then split them up that way.
A wise.
Yeah.
Spider husbandry.
That's what I was laughing at so hard when I don't know what you guys were talking about, and then I just started laughing because I was like, I could become a spider, a husbandry master.
Mm-hmm.
There is a sorcery wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that would do.
Well, so if you took that, you would, given our setting, you would know about myths about sorcery or like people in history who've claimed to have sorcery, but like obviously you wouldn't have firsthand knowledge with it because it doesn't really exist in the setting like normally.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think what the best wise would be to take.
So Carly, let's look. So, you took astrology? Perfect. Yes. Okay, a fun skill. Astrology is a fun skill because you can fork it into anything.
Oh, nice. That's interesting.
The thing is, if you fork it into something, and so normally the way the dice work is you roll a d6, and it's 4 to 6 is a success, 1 to 3 is a failure. Normally on 6, you can spend what it's called a fate point to open end a 6, which means it rolls it again. And then you get whatever that, if it's a success or whatever. And if you rolled another 6 on that die, you could keep rolling until you didn't get a 6. Astrology dice open end automatically, and they open end both ways. So if you rolled a 1, then you would have to roll again, and it's possible you lose a success. Because, luck and fate and all that stuff. But yeah, you at any point you could be like, is it auspicious for me to do this right now? And just fork in astrology, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Okay, so I'm not sure which one of these would be good for me, Caleb. For my character. So there's I wrote down 6, but I probably should only pick a few of them. There's cryptography, disguise, extortion, intimidation, lockpick, and sleight of hand.
Any of those sound really good. Yeah.
Dang it, that's not helpful.
Well, so let's go through this. So what's the first one?
Oh,
Cryptography.
I just saw Poison Wise on here.
Yeah, Poison Wise is a good one to have. Cryptography. What does that do?
Just decoding things.
Yeah, decoding things.
Would that be any at all useful ever in this?
Well, so that's the thing, right? A part of this game is you telling me what you're interested in by the skills you choose. I'm doing a bad job as a GM if I don't let you use your skills. And so, Seth, I promise, if you choose cryptography, there will be some sort of secret code.
Here's the thing. If that's the case, I'd rather pick something that's going to be helpful more generally, I guess is my point.
Yeah, you can do that too.
I'm thinking, what do you guys think? Maybe...
I feel like your character would have intimidation. Yeah.
Intimidation and sleight of hand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So okay, so how do I then do this? So I put them down. Does that cost me a point?
Just go ahead and put them in your skill list for now. So do you want to spend all your general points on those two? So you want to open both of them and then put 1 advance in each of them?
Is that how much it'll cost? Oh, because I only have 4, right?
Yeah, you'd only have 4 to work with. Yeah.
One of the traits can be anemic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm prone to fainting.
One of them was like table waiting.
Okay, so another thing to keep in mind. So with traits, the reason why a lot of them are really bad for you, so you buy traits. Like you can spend a point to like, and it costs sometimes a lot of points to buy bad traits. The reason is because they give you things in game. If they cause trouble for you or complicate the story somehow, you get points.
Good stuff for it.
And that's a different conversation altogether. But you know.
Okay, so
so if you want to have intimidation and sleight of hand, then you would open both of them and put an advance in each of them, and then they both be at 3, which makes sense.
Okay.
So for you, Carly, I would focus on perception. It doesn't seem like you are caring too much about talking to anyone. Unless, so this is the thing.
I only need to talk to one person.
Right. So, but okay. So actually, this is a point here. If you care at all about actually getting a husband, you should probably have some persuasion skills or whatever. Right?
Okay.
Like, you should probably have some social skills,
Right.
even if they're just general skills. Because otherwise, no one will want to marry you because you'll have.
Right.
I mean, both you and Alyssa will have the grace of a horse, right? Like.
Those are pretty freaky.
I'm just like trying to always persuade her that like you don't need a man. It's fine, okay?
So-
you could be your own independent person. You could just garden for the rest of your life and you'd be fine.
Yeah. So as a fun contrast, I feel like it might be fun, Carly, for your character to have soothing platitudes.
Okay.
The skill soothing platitudes basically is like, don't worry, no, like calm down, like it's that sort of thing. It's telling people words that mean nothing, but like an attempt to like soothe angry people and stuff like that. I feel like that's a thing you would have. I feel like that makes sense. So you can pop that in your skill list.
Okay, I just have a question. So, what's it mean to open a skill?
Open a skill is that little box there, and it just means you have the skill, and so it opens at whatever half your stat is, whatever. So if you just opened a skill, then it would just be the default number, so it's at 2 or whatever.
Oh, hey Carly, I think for traits, you're gonna have to spend a bunch of your trait points on being deaf.
That's true. Yeah.
It's 4 points to buy being deaf.
Oh yeah, we'll see if you even have enough.
You might only be able to be a little bit deaf, which is also.
Oh, that's true. You might not even have enough points to be deaf.
You could be a bit deaf, which is only. It doesn't say a point value; it just says DT for a bit
a die
deaf.
trait. Yeah, I think that's one that you can only get with a life path. I don't know if you can just buy that.
It says Manish life path trait.
Yeah, I think if it doesn't have a cost associated with it, that means it's usually given out from a specific life path. So I don't know if it's
okay. So you might not be able to be deaf, Carly. The game doesn't think you have enough.
Yeah, I mean, you only have 1 point to actually spend on anything.
What?
Yeah, because you get traits from all of the other life paths automatically. Yeah, I mean,
You should just let her be deaf. I mean, because otherwise my character is pointless if
Yeah.
it's not deaf.
Yeah.
You could just have it be a thing, but it's not mechanic-wise.
I mean, it has to. Yeah, it has to be. But she would have to have the actual trait deaf. Let's see. Yeah, that's
or
fine.
is there
I mean,
a way for me to up my trait points or something to be able to?
I mean, take different life paths, but you know,
Eh.
I think it's fine. I won't. You had a character concept, and it's fine. If you just want to spend that last point to be deaf,
Sure.
and then we can just add that on. Yeah, that's fine. This is a special case.
Guys, one of the traits can be bullseye spitter.
Yeah.
In calm weather and good light, this character simply does not miss his target.
That's great.
I'm still in skills. So like,
I know, so-
what's it between open? But like, so like,
Okay,
if
so
it's open, then
opening means you have the skill, and it starts at whatever the default number is.
yes. But what happens if you want to do something like that and it's not open? What does that mean?
What
You
do
don't have anything to fork in, right?
I don't know what
say,
forking is.
right. So you're saying if you wanted to try to read something but you didn't have the skill read, what would happen? That you're asking?
so-
Yeah,
yeah,
you would still roll it. You roll it untrained. It's a whole thing. It's much more difficult to do it. But you would get tests towards actually getting it. So the way the game works with advancement is you advance when you use your skills. As you use them, you get certain tests that help you advance them. And you can learn skills through the game. It's actually a really cool mechanic. There's a lot of fun ways you can do that.
Another question: Rule of Law has this little check mark by it. Does that mean it's a required one and it just didn't get checked already? I have Rule of Law and it has a little check mark by it. I don't know what that's from.
Rule of Law.
So,
Sorry. Yeah, that check mark is for a root, a double root, but it doesn't have one. Sorry, I just clicked that on accidentally. Just ignore that. Yeah, listen.
So Caleb, I just want to make sure. So all of my skills are accurate as far as their first and then their secondary.
Yes, except for sleight of hand, which you just added in. So that's agility. Yeah.
Okay, and then
There you
go. Okay, so it's okay. Got it.
Is there any maximum?
6.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I should have one more general one, but I don't know what wise I want to take.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think makes most sense with my character?
I don't know. I don't know. You could take the ones that come to mind is noble wise, myth wise. You could literally just have ancient languages wise, which would always give you a bonus die whenever you used ancient languages. That is technically a thing you could do. And then you could roll that to come up with things about that ancient language.
What would myth-wise do for me?
Come up with just because of the tie your character has to this ancient empire or whatever, so you could come up with myths and you could fork that in when it becomes relevant with your ancient language stuff. You could have sorcery wise if you already had been studying whatever mythology surrounds magic. You could have
just trying to think which one would be the most useful.
You could have rude men wise.
Oh
right?
my gosh.
You could be very skilled at handling rude men.
I don't like the idea of myth-wise. I think that sounds kind of cool.
That's a kind of fun thing.
With the skills, is this a place to min-max?
Yeah.
Myth-wise would be a perception.
Yes. Yeah. All the wises are based on perception. Yep.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, and so you don't want to min-max maybe too much because it really depends on. It honestly just depends on how good you want to be at any of these things. If you plan on using it a lot, you'd obviously want it higher. But especially for
persuasion, is that one I push 4 points into to make it 6 max?
Yeah. I mean, having 6 persuasion is a really good idea. One note on wises. So, specifically for your wise murder wise, Seth, I'm not sure that having an increasing it at all is going to be super helpful for you, simply because you're not going to be rolling it by itself a whole lot. Right, you're not gonna come up with. I mean, you could roll it to come up with like a murder that you witnessed way back when, which might be helpful if you're thinking about it back at a past case. But most of the time, you're just gonna be forking that in, which is just gonna give you a 1 dice flat anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, and that might be better spent on more active skills that you're gonna be rolling by themselves.
I'm trying. I'm just looking as I'm like, I want to pick good skills, but I don't know which skills are good.
So Caleb, with what you were saying with that, it's like for me, I have seduction and persuasion. So if I fork in like seduction, if I'm trying to persuade somebody, my base for seduction doesn't really matter. It just adds in a dice.
The only way that a base for forking matters is if you have a 7 or higher in it. Then it gives you 2 dice. Otherwise, it's just 1.
Okay.
Yep, that's the only.
So basically,
since nobody can start with 7 in anything, it doesn't matter for character creation. So.
Okay.
Do it.
What's apothecary?
Let's look and see.
Like a drug,
like medicine, drug.
Well, yeah, specifically like we'll see what the rules say about
right.
it.
Medicine, drugs.
Yeah, apothecary specifically in the book here, use herbs, roots, minerals, and animalia to cure and prevent common and chronic illnesses. Apothecaries may mitigate the symptoms of infection and illness. They may also alleviate wound die penalties. So it's like healing stuff.
Got it. So if I want to add on points to my skills, do I put that under the advance?
Yep.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Yep. So you make sure you marked open, and then from there you advance it. Yeah.
Are there any of the other skills I have that are ones I'm probably going to be forking rather than wanting to roll on individually?
Wises are usually that way. Streetwise, though, for you specifically, that's a good one to have more in, because it's that one is because it doesn't have the dash. It's actually not. It's not the same as a regular wise. It's streetwise. Let's look specifically. I think it's just like navigating a city and stuff. So
I figured rule of law might be a little helpful.
Yes, and knowing the law about the situation is good.
But streetwise will help me.
Streetwise is the etiquette of the city streets. This skill helps characters navigate urban centers safely, allowing them to find a place only a native would know. So like example things you could do with it: finding a well-known establishment in a city you have never been to, finding an out-of-the-way place in a familiar city, staying out of neighborhoods where you don't belong, acting like you belong there, so on and so forth.
That's why I wanted to have inconspicuous as well.
Yeah, I feel that's fun. Yeah, that's fun. Streetwise and inconspicuous are good ones to have.
So again, the max you can have for anything is a 6, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then brawling, I figured, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't sound like there's going to be a whole lot of like punching in this game, but I mean, there might be. There was a guy murdered, so
it might be more helpful to be streetwise and rule of law stuff.
It really depends on your character concept, right? Like whether or not you're a guy who did punch a lot of people and broke jaws and stuff, or whether
I was a thug.
You were, yeah.
Fear of wet noises.
Yeah, some of these traits are really funny. Okay, so real quick, Carly, because we've been stalling in yours. So I would probably just go like 4 and 5. On mental.
What do you mean by that?
4 will and 5 perception. Because I know you probably want to be more perception than will, but you also don't want to be bad at will.
Right. What do I do and where for that?
So up on the top right of the character burner worksheet,
okay,
where it says like consult the H chart, and then it says divide mental pool, divide physical pool. You would just change will and perception there to 4 and 5. And I think that's the amount that you have left there with the 7.
For both of them? For mental and physical?
Just do mental for now, yeah. So you would say will 4, perception 5.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And then physical pool, I mean, you have 12, so let's see, if you put them all at 3, you'd still have 4 left. So you could put them all at 4. That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
That's just standard, normal, healthy, young person, right?
Wait, what the frick? Wait, what?
What? What are you looking at?
Alert? I can poop my pants to get 2 dice?
Yeah,
what?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so this game was made by some of these are inside jokes with the people who made the game. And so technically, most of the time you're just like being able to like aim and stuff better. That trait is specifically good for the fight rules. I'm not sure if we'll ever use the fight rules in this game. Maybe not. If anyone gets into a duel, then possibly. But
I just figured, I'm gonna play a detective. Being alert would be good. Then I read that. I'm like,
it's not
wait,
quite
what?
the trait you think it is. Yeah.
No, it's not.
So I'm still like working on my skills. I'm almost done, but like just because I mean, obviously the higher the number is, the better chance you have of succeeding at that role. But like, what is considered like really good in skills, and like what's considered like
so there's a scale here that will help you understand like what that actually means in the real world. Let me find it.
Obviously, like 6 is like super duper proficient, but
like,
what does it mean if you have like 2, 3, 4? Like...
So exponent 1 in something is naturally disinclined, crippled, or utterly incompetent. 2 is untrained, raw, weak, or unpracticed. 3 is nominally trained and practiced. 4 is competent. Everyday stuff doesn't pose a challenge. 5 is expert, and 6 is near mastery. From there, it's like 7 is excellence, 8 is total mastery, complete understanding, 9 is uncanny, incomprehensibly good, and 10 is as near perfection as the system allows. If you have a 6 in anything, you are a master at that. You're like almost a master at it. You've almost mastered the entire discipline.
So I'm really illiterate.
Yes, you're pretty illiterate.
But then really the only thing I probably really want to be a 6 in then is like my ancient languages.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Everything else I could be like...
Oh, so instruction is also a really cool skill. Instruction, basically, you can teach any character any skill that you have, at least.
Nice.
So you can literally just roll to give people free tests towards learning a skill and like advancing in a skill. So that's a fun way to like... You could legitimately just like be like, I'm gonna teach you guys. So say like Seth or Emily's character became friends with Carly's character. You could teach them the sign language, right? Like you could be like, hey, I'm gonna teach you the sign language, and then like
it only takes one day.
I mean, it wouldn't take one day. Like it takes a while. But yeah,
it's like teaching Doris how to read.
Exactly.
Ooh. Oh, this might be the trait that I choose. I can
so Carly,
buy.
from here, go ahead and so first, you have 5 general points to put. Do you want to just have ancient languages and soothing platitudes? Is there any other skill that you might want to have? It's not on this list.
Bee speaker.
Probably persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so how do you want to split up the points in that? So you're opening all of them, so you have 2 points left. You can put 2 in one of them, or put 1 in 2. They all open at 2, so.
I'm debating if I actually want to keep astrology or not. Because Carly's got that, so I'm like,
I would at least advance Carly 1 in ancient languages, because otherwise you're not very good at it.
Yeah.
I would maybe even put both of them in there.
Okay.
Because that's your primary communication medium, right?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
What does it mean when it says, like in a trait, it says +1 ob to all persuasion and soothing platitude testing?
Obstacle.
Yeah. So the difficulty of the test.
I think I want to give myself blank stare.
Ooh.
Although I do also want jaded.
Do you pay attention to the points then you had?
Yeah, I'm looking at
points. Okay, yeah.
I have 4 and blank stares 3.
Yeah, sure.
And make sure that it factored in the ones that you're required to do.
Yeah.
For your required life path ones, which all cost 1, I believe.
Yeah. I would get jaded though. That's one more point.
I know, but I don't know how much it costs currently. I'm scrolling through all of them.
Yeah, because jaded gives you the hesitation and decrease, which is really good.
So, sorry.
There's also broken.
Okay, real quick, Carly. So go ahead and just put the rest of your points then in. So you have 19 left. And in advance any of the skills that you want that you already had opened, and then just put them wherever you want to add them all.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there
So-
ones that just don't cost anything then?
Those are
Those
only
ones
life
are not
path ones.
available for you to buy. They
Oh.
come from specific life paths.
Gotcha.
So just ignore those.
Sorry, I keep
Yeah, you're
asking questions, but
No,
like,
that's what I'm
what was I going for? Shoot, I had it, and then symbology. Like, what would that do for me? Like, give me a for instance of when I would roll that.
Pretty. I mean, you would probably fork that into a lot of things. If you were learning anything, so if we made an arc with your character where you continued learning about these ancient languages and like trying to discover more about their origins and their meanings and all that stuff, then symbology is your skill, right? Symbology is going to help you tremendously in like deciphering a bunch more about whatever this language is. If that's interesting for your character, then like go for it. There's other general uses you could probably have for that too. So like symbology. Let me just open up the skill.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like,
it's like symbols in general, right? That you're
right.
good at
I think
deciphering.
So. Yeah.
So it's the study of. Oh, okay. So actually, it's the study of ancient and obscure symbols. A symbologist can recognize / interpret these marks and signs. So, common symbols, common religious symbols, common arcane symbols, obscure religious symbols, foreign pictograms, obscure arcane symbols, unknown religious symbols, unknown arcane symbols, truly alien symbology. Various things you could. But yeah, I mean, any obscure symbol would.
Yeah, I'm just debating how high I want it to be. If I want it to be a 4 or a 5.
I like this, guys. It says, compulsive liar. The character cannot help himself. The lies come unbidden and never ending. Note that this trait does not necessarily make the character a good liar.
Yeah. Falsehood is a different skill. And I noticed that no one has it yet.
Has what skill?
Falsehood.
Falsehood,
Oh, right.
which is just straight up lying.
Yep. No one is good at lying in this game so far.
Okay, I think I'm done with my skills.
Awesome, cool.
And so then I have
So
to
then
pick
you go to traits, yeah.
traits.
So you automatically
Okay.
get market privilege, rabble rouser, and ink stained hands. And so those are already factored. So you have 5 left to spend.
Okay, and then can I also just add on traits?
Yes, so you can in the book right after the skill list is the trait list, and there's a whole bunch of traits in there that you could look at and buy. You could also just say, I want my character to have this sort of trait, and I can probably find it for you. But also the cheapest ones are going to be the ones in your list here. So you could, if you wanted to be an important noble person, you could have a title. You could have your lordship, your eminence, or your grace,
Right.
which means people have to call you by that. And if they don't, then it's an insult. You also could choose drunk or geometric. Geometric might be a cool one. It gives you +1 die whenever you are doing anything related to math. Condescending, I think, is just a character trait, but it means you're condescending.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any math skills. But...
Yeah. And you can also technically just buy any trait, like just a word like that describes you, and it's just a character trait that it costs 1 point, and doesn't give you any extra things.
So if I want to buy a trait, I need to use 1 trait point to do it.
Yeah, so any of the life path traits on this list right now that you have here, drunk, geometric, condescending, any of those, they cost 1.
They all cost 1 if they're already on there?
If they're already on the list. Yep, they only cost 1. And any just normal character trait. So if you just say, my character is bland. There you go, 1 point. Doesn't give you anything else. It's just a thing that's true about your character. But then there are other specific kinds of traits, such as die traits and call-on traits. Interesting point. Call-on traits are really good. So call-on traits mean that you can call on that trait to break a tie or re-roll all failed dice in the test that trait is in the skill that trait is related to.
Like mine, which is my sonorous voice is a call-on for seduction, persuasion, and dissuasion tests.
Yeah, that's a good one to have.
I found familiar face. That one might be good for me.
Mm-hmm. And those always cost 2, I think. So.
Yeah.
No, the one I looked at cost 1.
Some of them, most of them cost 2, but I think, yeah.
No, it did cost 2. Never mind, you're right.
I think there are a few that cost like more or less.
I think it's anything that does something actually good for you costs at least 2.
Yeah, I think that's true. Except for that's true. But yeah, and then die traits are like usually like things about your character, like cold-blooded is a die trait, jaded is a die trait, deaf is a die trait, because it has some sort of like penalty or bonus included with it. So you have +1 dice or minus,
Ooh.
+1 obstacle. Those are die traits. Those are special.
I'm definitely taking Jaded at 1 because it usually costs 4.
Exactly. You have -1 skill points, Carly.
Does that mean I need to bring one down?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I just counted wrong.
It has a number in the top next to 5 skill remaining root at the top there.
I see that.
Oh, also, so are you planning on, Carly, using flower wise to come up with different flowers all the time?
Probably.
Okay. Because that's really the only reason you would have that at a higher one, because that's one you would probably.
Down 1.
Yeah.
Probably don't need it that high.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I'm sorry, I'm just looking through the traits, and then it says like DT, CO, like what are those all?
Oh, sorry, real quick. Oh, yes. So that's those are the type of traits. So it's character traits, die traits, and call-on traits.
Oh, okay. I see. So
character traits usually are just a thing that's true about your character. It doesn't do anything extra. Die traits usually have an obstacle or a bonus associated with them, and call-ons allow you to re-roll dice in a failed test related to that skill, or break ties in your favor.
So then, and then the points that are next to it are how many points it takes to.
Yep. How many points it takes to buy it? Yep.
Okay, and then you have to spend another point to open it, or
no? Traits just are straight. Yep. It's just you pay that amount. That's it.
You just pay that amount, and then you
just have the trait. Yep, you just put it on your trait list. Yeah.
Okay, so child prodigy. This trait is only available to 1 or 2 life path characters.
So you cannot have it because you have 4 life path characters. You have 4 life path character.
Got it.
Yep.
Never mind then.
Carly, so you can't actually spend any more points in your general skills. So ancient languages, soothing platitudes, or persuasion. Because you have 5 points to work with those. The rest of those skill points have to be spent on the other ones in your list. So you have to take off. So we had like 2 advanced in ancient languages.
Oh.
And so you can't advance any of the other ones. Yeah. So you have other points to work with and put them somewhere else.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you will not be very good at persuading or soothing platitudes at the very beginning.
Okay.
You can learn how to farm.
I feel like that's not very character.
So a fun skill that you might consider having is Almanac. That's on your list there. Almanac comprises a deep traditional and historical knowledge of the seasons, tides, weather, lunar phases, and other climatic phenomena. A character with the Almanac skill can always tell the time of year, nearly to the day. In addition, he can make accurate predictions about this season's weather. So you'd be like, it's going to rain today, and it's probably right. But yeah, that's... Oh, and remember, you have to, if you're taking a new one, you have to open it first.
Oh.
Ah, yes, you're taking it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Just all the time, just be like, I'm going to predict today's weather.
I'm not sure what traits to take.
I know, right? There's so many.
So many.
Oh, and in case you want to know, because you maybe have seen it in trait descriptions, circles is how you find people that can help you. So you roll circles to be like, hey, I know a person.
Okay, guys.
So where's circles? I'm confused.
In case you came across that, it's not a skill or a stat. It's a different thing. It's circles, which is just like to find people that can help you.
Right.
Yeah. In case you see that in a description of a trait and don't know what it means.
Okay. Would oratory be able to help me in any way?
I don't think so. I don't think you'll ever be able to make a speech of any sort.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes any sense. I mean, you could have it, and you could make a very dramatic. You could make a lot of very dramatic hand gestures, but like.
Okay, I need opinions on this, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Should I take blank stare, or a mixture of 3 skills, which is chronologue, which means I always know the time, thick skin, which means I don't get insulted, and drop dead gorgeous. Because I keep another one that cost 1.
I feel
I
like
kind of like.
I like the thick skin and drop dead gorgeous.
Those both cost 1, and I would need to have one more that's just 1. And chronologue seemed like a neat thing.
I like
that's
that.
You can always
just
tell what time it is.
Hilarious.
That's what chronologue is. You can always tell what time it is.
Yes.
That's cool.
Ooh.
I kind of want blank stare just because it makes sense given my character, but it'd be more
What
fun
does
to
blank stare
have
do
like.
again?
Essentially, people can't tell
No
if
matter
I'm,
the
like,
emotion,
tell
the
if I've
character
got-
never shows any sign of getting it. The little light bulb never seems to come on. +1 ob to all persuasion and soothing platitude tests made against this character. That's awesome. So you're hard to persuade.
know, right? Well, not even hard to persuade, but it's just like usually you're like, well,
Yeah.
I like.
Mhm.
I don't know. I
Either
kind
one,
of like the idea of like, well, because I like the idea of like the reason I'm so persuasive is like I'm like really poor, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I really got it.
That could be funny. Yeah. Right? Like, you're just a really, really, really attractive poor dude, right? Like,
Mhm.
clean you up a little bit and you could be a nobleman.
Do I have to
just like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Seth's character played by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hand-eye coordination. The character may round up when factoring roots for skills with the perception/agility root.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
So what does
So
that
for
exactly do?
you, that would make you better at writing. And that's it.
Oh, okay. So just perception and agility.
And I don't know if that actually helps you at all because your perception and agility are already... Because it rounds up. So if one of those was like a 5, then you could treat it as if it was a 6. Okay. But yeah, it doesn't help you at all.
So under type, do we change these to special?
It doesn't really matter. You don't have to change the type to anything there.
Okay.
Just ignore it for now.
I changed mine to special.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Because I am special.
I might do that just so I know which ones are
fine.
different.
I mean, these will end up on a different part of the character sheet, but yeah.
Be the invisible friend.
Yeah. All right, Carly. Traits. We didn't put down any of your traits for. So you have 3 people in this party have the rabble rouser trait, so that's fun.
Well,
rabble rouser doesn't actually have anything. It just says rabble rouser.
Yeah, it just means the description of that word. So you rouse rabbles. You're a rabble rouser. You cause scenes. You're a troublemaker.
I can just be Joan of Arc. Like that's a trait. I can just be her.
Does it say anything
Joan
else?
of Arc
It says Joan of Arc.
And that's it?
And then just a character.
I'd assume it just means you act sort of like Joan of Arc.
I'm gonna burn you at the stake.
Yeah, again, some of these traits are just like inside jokes with the people who made this game.
I just thought that was super funny. I was just like, it just says Joan of Arc.
Mm-hmm.
Who's like one of my favorite people in history. So
it seems like Josephine would also admire Joan of Arc.
Probably.
Yeah, so let's see. You had the student life path, which gives you rabble rouser, young lady. I don't know if that gives you any traits, does it? Young lady. It doesn't give you any traits automatically. Gardener gives you traits, I know. You automatically have the trait earthy smell.
Nice.
And then you can get the traits salts of the earth, down to earth, or affinity for plants for 1 point each. I think a lot of these are actually pretty helpful. Let's look. So
I can have the no nonsense trait.
Yeah. Sounds like a thing you'd have. Salt of the earth is just a character trait, so it means, just means what the phrase means. Someone's the salt of the earth. They preserve things. They're nice and stuff.
They're nice and stuff.
So like, what do character traits like do? Like, what's the benefit of taking a character trait?
Character traits. So again, all traits can get you into trouble or complicate your life somehow, which will give you fate points and stuff like that, which are helpful for you. So basically, it's just a way to, if you're playing towards your character, right? So if your character is condescending and you play towards that, then you get benefits for it. But it has to be like mechanically on your sheet. So.
Got it. Okay.
It's also something that's just true about your character, so it helps me understand how people treat you and stuff too. So
I think my character is a no-nonsense kind of a character.
I think that makes sense. Down to earth Carly is a good trait. It says this character is very grounded. They understand the natural order and lives by it. You can use this skill as a call-on for farming, plant-wise, or any other earthy skill the GM approves. So that's actually a lot of different skills.
I like that.
You have a lot of them, right? Like any of your wises make sense there. Yeah, and that's only cost one point. So, and then affinity for plants also. Like you could be a ridiculously good gardener with these traits, because affinity for plants just means the trait gives you the character +1 die to one skill for which your character has an affinity. Actually, wait. Yeah, affinity for plants specifically is you just get a +1 die whenever plants are associated with a rule.
Nice.
Just carry a plant around and be like, I'm using persuasion with this plant in my hand.
I mean, but seriously though, you could technically have like if you were trying to like talk to someone who like really liked plants and you were like in your garden like talking to them, you could probably get another dice for that. Do you want that one?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have 1 trait point to spend. So you could also get just Salt of the Earth. It just costs 1. Right? And Salt of the Earth basically just means like you're the salt of the earth. Specifically, the phrase means to be of great worth and reliability. So if you're the salt of the earth, you have great worth and reliability. Is that something that's true about your character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like that. I feel like people like your character, right? Like
Yay.
I feel like they definitely do, even
though
if
she's hard to communicate
exactly. You're just nice. You're sweet.
Ooh, question.
Yeah.
Would I be able to call on my sonorous voice if I'm having interactions with Carly's character?
What is that?
What is that? What do you mean? Oh,
because
probably
she's
not.
deaf.
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, you probably just wouldn't even be able to use the skills associated, right? Like, you would be able to...
Seduction?
It's on for... Yeah. Why would you try to seduce Carly's character?
I'm just saying it helps with seduction.
Wow, we're
persuasion.
getting really modern here.
Oh gosh.
That's how you work your way up in the world.
I mean, I'm not great at anything.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Okay, cool. Has everybody chosen their traits then?
No,
Yep.
I'm still looking.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I have like 4 more points to spend.
So you got no nonsense. Did that cost 1? That's just a character trait?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look around.
Okay, so I want to put a bunch of points into seduction or persuasion.
Probably persuasion.
Seduction.
Or actually, yeah.
Seduction.
I feel like
Okay.
that would be more interesting for the character.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, because I was like, I'm gonna make myself have a 6 in one of them. So
Yes, be a master of seduction.
that's the only thing I am a master at.
Awesome,
Everything else,
perfect.
my highest one is 3. I don't have many skills.
Technically, you could. I don't know if this would be interesting for you, Alyssa. You could have the trait bastard. You could be an illegitimate child.
I looked at that one.
That's kind of interesting.
No.
I almost picked that one.
Yeah. You could be blind.
Yeah, okay.
That would
That's
make
how that's
no
gonna work.
sense. You could have bookworm.
I did look at that one. What is that
Oh,
one?
let's see. Characters with this trait reduce their aptitude for learning academic skills by 1. I mean, that's kind of cool. If you're planning on learning more academic skills, that would be good. It's easier to learn any of them.
Sure, I'll take bookworm.
That
That's 2
sounds like something
points.
that's true about your character.
Yeah, she likes to learn about things.
Mm-hmm. So that costs 2. Let's see.
Oh, there's special traits for
2 more.
being a man. Oh wait, no, these are the same ones. There's some different spots.
Let's see. You could have the trait driven. Or, there's a distant goal which drives your character on. Something burns in his mind that will make all this suffering, hardship, and pain worth it in the end. This trait is a call-on for one skill that is related to one of the goals listed in the character's beliefs. Choose the skill before play starts. So if you had something, say you wanted to make your whole arc about like mastering this language or whatever, right? Or like so you could choose that as your like call on, and so like you could have a belief about like learning the darkest secrets of whatever this empire was or whatever, and then you could, because you're driven towards that goal, you get to break ties and reroll failed dice with that skill. Just as an example. Let's see.
What page was the scale that said what each number meant for skills?
Is towards the beginning.
I'm trying to find it.
It is on page 12 or 13.
Wow, I'm way far off. I'm still in the hundreds.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning.
Might bring down my brawling so I can bring up my reading and writing.
He's a Jonah, that one. I now know why you named that Terranilius episode.
Yep,
that thing.
is after that trait.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just for simplicity's sake, as I don't want to spend forever looking at all these, I'll just driven sounds fine.
Sure, yeah. What skill do you want that associated with? It could be any skill.
It
has to be related to like a driving belief. I mean, we could honestly just decide that later too. You could just say I get driven, and then once we know more about your character's beliefs, we can choose what skill that is. Yeah. Okay, cool. So everybody's done traits. So next is attributes. So there's a couple of other extraneous things in the game. So you have health, steel, circles, reflexes, your mortal wound, stuff like that. Nobody has faith in this, so I think we just need to ask health and steel questions. So I'm going to ask your characters a series of questions, and this will increase or decrease your health and steel. So on when you look at number 7, attributes, it should tell you what each of them starts at. So steel always starts at 3, and your health is the average of will and fort. I believe rounded down. It should have it listed there. So go ahead and put those defaults in.
Wait, what?
So right below, right next to to the right of where the traits are, there's a list of attributes. So health, steel, reflexes, mortal wounds. No, I'll just pop on. Oh, go back to the character burner.
Oh.
Yeah, we're all on here. So you start with 4, and then 3 for steel. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions which will lower or raise these. So, everyone, does your character live in squalor and filth? Answer honestly with these questions.
No.
I mean, probably.
All right, subtract 1 die from your starting health. Is the character frail or sickly?
No.
Well,
No.
I'd say no.
Was the character severely wounded in the past?
no.
No.
Think so.
Okay. Has the character been tortured and enslaved?
No.
No from everybody.
Oh.
Is the character athletic and active?
Yes.
No.
At least I'm very active. I don't know if I would consider myself
I mean, you
really
can
athletic,
dance.
but I mean, I'm not great at it, so that's why I'm like, I don't know if I would say I'm athletic.
But you
I'm
work in an
very
opera,
active.
so
Yes, so I add.
I would say, given my backstory, I'm probably fairly active.
Alyssa, what do you think?
I don't think I'm very active. I mean, I'm a bookworm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
So those who are athletic and active, add 1 to your starting health.
Yay!
All right. Does the character live in a really clean and happy place, like the hills and the Sound of Music?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, Carly's character does.
I think I do too. I mean, I probably live with her.
on the manor. Yeah, I'm imagining your family's manor as like the most like picturesque, beautiful place because like, you have this
So
like,
many
beautiful
flowers.
garden. Yeah, exactly. that sounds what it is to me.
And
Yeah.
trees and
I mean, isn't this just like the first question again?
No, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm between the two. I don't think I'm in either, really.
Yeah, I don't think either of you two plebs live in a really clean and happy place. But so Alyssa and Carly, your characters can add 1 to your starting
Got health.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so that is your health starting off with. What is everybody's health at?
5.
Nice. So
3. Why do I always have so low? I'm street smart. I should be better than...
Wait, shouldn't you have 4 because you're active?
No, but I lost
You
one because I live
subtracted
in
one.
squalid conditions.
Right, but it
he
starts
started
at
at
4.
3. He started at 3
Why?
because his will and fort weren't.
Oh.
He has
Just
4 in will and
kidding.
3 in fort. So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not very tough, actually.
Oops.
I mean, yeah,
I was
living
just
on the
curious.
streets, doesn't bode well for that. So yeah, you're kind of sickly. Okay, cool.
Maybe I should make my brawling a little better.
So then there's steel. So everybody starts at 3. Has the character taken a conscript, soldier, bandit, squire, or knight type life path? I think only Seth can say yes because you have thug. I think that counts. So you can add 1 to your steel.
Yay.
None of you said you were severely wounded. Has the character ever murdered or killed with their own hand?
Probably.
Have you done so more than once?
That's a tricky question. I mean, when I say it, once you do it the first time, it's probably easier the second time, so maybe.
Yeah.
That
Anyone
makes
else
sense, yeah.
killed anybody? No?
And what if I said yes?
Not until
answer
the
is
game
no.
starts. Yeah. So Seth, you can add 1 to your steel as well.
Even though I said more than once,
Yep.
probably.
Yes, that's why you can. So if you only killed 1 person, then you don't raise your steel. If
Okay.
you've done it more than once, then you raise your steel. Nobody's been tortured and enslaved. Has any of your characters led a sheltered life free from violence and pain?
I mean, I think most everyone else probably.
probably.
Probably not Emily's character.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, I think
I mean, I feel
I
like
mean, I chose baker because I feel like I was like, oh, okay, like my family probably helped work at the bakery, so I'm going in the family business.
Right, but
So
you
it's like-
also are a pleb in a city where the plebs
Right, it's
aren't
like-
very well off.
It's like I'm not like
I would say
once
I would
again,
say no.
I'm not in squalor or filth or in the Sound of Music. I'm
yeah, but
just kind of in the
you
middle.
haven't led a sheltered life free from violence and pain. Like
Yeah.
you've had trials and pain and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Carly,
would
you
say
said you have, and Alyssa,
Probably,
you
yeah.
too?
Yeah, I mean, like, at least my character doesn't like to think she has been.
Right,
Like,
but you probably
yeah,
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so each of you reduce your steal by 1.
I may not have health, but I have lots of steel.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have lots of steel. Has your character been raised in a competitive but non-violent culture? Sports, debate, strategy games, courting.
Yes.
yes.
I feel like you probably too. I feel like all of you have.
I mean, I went into the performing field,
Yeah.
so yes.
Yeah.
I won't think. Wait, what was the question exactly?
Has the character been raised in a competitive but non-violent culture? Sports, debate, strategy games, courting.
I guess raised probably. Then yeah, it just
Yeah,
changed.
right. Like yeah, exactly. You just changed over time. I think you were raised in a kind of competitive, like normal city life sort of thing. Yes, everybody can raise their steal by 1.
Oh, raised, good. Okay.
Back up to 3.
Has anyone here given birth to a child?
No.
No.
Yes. Funny story.
This is like made RPG, except so you're secretly a woman. Emily?
I'm trying to decide if I have like a secret
could've,
child
yeah.
or something.
If you're a dancer, would you have?
Well, but I also do other things too. Maybe that's why I'm not great at things.
You have to take care of your child. I'm interested in that. That could be fun.
Yeah, I have a kid.
Okay. You can raise your steal by 1.
Give me that steel.
Does anyone have a perception exponent of 6 or higher?
Yeah.
Anyone who has perception 6 can raise your steal by 1.
Wait. Wait, that is 6, right? No, wait, no, persuasion's will. Oh.
No, are we talking about just
Perception,
like the straight
your
up
stat.
Perception.
Your stat
stat.
perception.
No, my perception is 5.
I have a 6.
I know. Yeah, I knew it was 6. Yeah, so you can raise your steal by 1. Does anyone have a will of 5 or higher?
No.
Does no one have a 5? Yeah, I guess not.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure nobody has a fort of 6 or higher.
No.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that everything else is done automatically. Now it's resource points. So
Got a steal of 6.
nice. Yeah, that's good. And you have the hesitation like traits too, so that you're not going to be phased by much. All these women, they're just going to be like, "What is happening?"
Excuse you. My steal is 5.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're probably going to be fine.
I have a 4. I'm okay.
I'm 3.
I feel like that makes sense. I feel like that's
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay, so everybody has an amount of resource points. It should be listed there, right next to field 8. Resource points,
Yes.
39. For Marco has 39, for example. So there's a bunch of stuff to buy.
Yes.
Well,
Shopping
says
montage.
55.
Now we're shopping. Okay, so
Oh my gosh, you have so many resources. That's nauseating.
to find how you can spend these, there's 2 places to look. So one, you can look at I believe it's the end of the man life paths. Yeah, page 202 and onward has like gear and property and stuff like that.
Okay, so I need to pay for a child, correct?
Yes. So and then the other thing you pay for yes, exactly. So resource points buy you a few things. So one, like actual gear, like physical property and possessions, which you can find on 202 and in a couple pages afterwards. And then right next to, let's say on page 94 and onward, you can buy relationships, affiliations, and reputations.
You have to buy these things?
Yes. Some of you start with them. So I know Alyssa and Carly, you each have a... what does market privilege give you? I know it gives you... it gives you a 1D affiliation with the nobility. So you automatically have that. So you automatically have an affiliation with the noble class that you can call on. Otherwise, you have to buy those sorts of things. So if you want your character to be particularly reputable about something, that's where you buy them. If you want any character to be in the game and like be important to your character, you buy them with relationships. And an easy way to create fun complications for your character is if you have a few stray resource points left, buying like a lover who hates you, and like there's all sorts of like modifiers that go into the relationships, and so you can add like a really complicated relationship with somebody, and then it costs very little.
Oh, it reduces the cost of it.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, I thought you could just like have a negative resource. I was like, that's weird.
No. Yeah, so those are the two places you can find to spend things. So the obvious things that everybody probably wants is clothes and shoes. Yes, you have to buy them separately.
Okay, where's this? Where are the supplies again?
202.
202.
And
Okay.
onward.
I was looking at how much I had to spend on my child.
Yeah, you can also have like property for you two, for Alyssa and Carly, for like property and stuff, for like manors and whatnot. Neither of you probably actually like own like a manor or anything like that, because your family does.
Right.
So, but given the character relationship you guys have, you probably you don't need to get a property, because you both.
I could
live on
get
the estate.
missiles.
Yeah, so you could get arrows. That's what that is.
Missiles.
So wait, how much does... Oh, okay, shoes cost 1. And
Yeah, so
clothes
everybody's
cost
going to
1.
spend 2 to have clothes and shoes, obviously.
I'm gonna get a horse.
Yeah, you can get a horse.
I mean, how else would I have gotten here?
That's right. I mean, I just assumed you lived in the city.
Oh,
I
shoot.
thought I
Okay.
was from out of town because I was a.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're like Irish or whatever.
Well, no, I thought we established that I was. From
That you were out of town and you just recently came back. Right.
And my friend like called me over
Yes,
to like.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Caleb, do you have any idea if any of my skills require tools? Because
Oh, yes, that is
that's
another
something
thing
that I
that's
was not
important.
looking at.
Yes, I forgot
Like
about that.
sewing
yes, so
probably requires tools, right?
I believe so. Yes, there are certain skills that need toolkits to like have the materials necessary to use them. I believe seamstressing is one of them. Let's take a look.
Yep.
Seamstress.
Yes, expendable is what it says for tools for sewing.
Sewing. Yep.
So does that mean I buy a kit that then is used and I need to buy more tools because it's expendable?
That's a good question. I believe that means that every time you use it, you roll to see if it gets used up. Here we go. When using expendable tools, you roll a die of fate each time they are used after the first. A result of 1 indicates the tools have been used up. So, yep. So you would just roll every time you use it to see if you used it up or not.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Aww. No flamethrowers in traveling gear.
Yep. No.
I call shenanigans.
So do Carly and I need to spend any money on like rent or property? Like
No, I don't think so. You guys both live.
Cool.
Oh, wait, Emily, you threw in the overlays.
Sorry, my iPad decided to ask if I wanted to continue cloud something, and I said no. Or okay or something. I don't know. If tools say workshop, does that mean I don't need to buy tools? It's just I can only do the skill if I'm in a place that has it?
Either that or you have to buy a workshop. But yeah, you could go find a workshop.
I mean, that's for my baking. So it's like I can only
you would just have to
when I'm
go
at
a bakery. Yeah. But
Okay, I just wanted to make
buying a
sure.
workshop means you own a bakery.
Boy, do you think I have enough money to own a bakery?
Probably not, yeah.
I am a single mother.
Yeah. But yeah, so there might be skills on your guys' skill list that you need toolkits for. I know that you need it for astrology, writing, musical instrument, because the actual musical instrument. And I think that might be it for. Oh, and like apothecary, herbalism, those need toolkits.
Where are all of the toolkits?
So toolkits, I think, just cost 7 flat
Oh,
for each skill. So you just put on there the toolkit for this, toolkit for that, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Trying to think. I don't think I have any skills that require a toolkit.
I don't think I do either.
Just writing, if you want to have writing stuff on you.
Okay.
I have a lot of resources. I don't know what to do with.
By relationships and affiliations and reputations and stuff.
That's true.
Or like just
So-
own a place.
So do I just put toolkit and then writing on the notes?
Yep. That makes sense.
Okay.
So for property, if I bought a small cottage, that would be like fine for me and my child to live in together, and it's
Yeah.
just like a humble
Yeah.
cottage,
Just
right?
a house somewhere in the city, yeah. Or
Hey.
or if you like travel from the country to go do your stuff. I mean, that seems like ridiculous, but
Okay, I have a question, and this might be kind of going back as I said earlier. So I am a thug. We've established that, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm a thug without a home.
you could have a place to stay.
If I do that, could I take up my health one since it wouldn't necessarily be squalid?
Sure, yeah, you could change that.
Okay, so I could buy a small cottage for 3.
Mhm.
Correct? That's what it's saying.
Yep.
Okay. Too bad I can't buy a bakery, but there's no way I can afford that.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
because the bakery would just include like a house to live in, right? Like with the bakery. So yeah.
Yeah, I still can't afford that. Unless I did not get a sewing kit. Oh, technically, if I bought a child, clothes, shoes, and a bakery, I could afford it.
Yeah.
But I would not even have a sewing kit to sew with.
It's true.
with
It doesn't
which
seem like
to
you'd be doing a
sew.
lot of baking because you're
No, I'm
working
too busy.
at the opera. Yeah.
And I need to sew.
Yeah.
Okay. Cash is 6 points.
Yeah. So that means you just have like a little bit of not a little bit, but like basically a bribe's worth of money, just like a pouch of like money that you can spend. Basically, you can spend it on a test. You spend it like a dice. To give yourself one. So you could bribe someone with it. You could add a dice to your resource test to buy something, that sort of thing. Just like pocket or money
Would I
on
need
it.
to buy finery for like my opera clothes?
It depends. Do you know if the opera would? What do we think? Would the opera like provide the costuming for the people, or would they be expected to like somehow make their own?
I don't know about make their own, but like, is it like when
Pay
you're
for
in a
it.
wedding and it's like everybody has to wear this bridesmaid's dress, but you have to buy it yourself?
Yeah, right. Like maybe it's like it comes out of your wages, right? Like
Because then it would be, I could get a whole wardrobe of my opera performing clothes.
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
so
so
we'll say that.
for you noble ladies, finery is something you might want to. I mean, you definitely
I
want to
already
have.
got it.
Yeah, because that's like dresses
Wait,
and rings
what's-
and
Do I
what's-
need to buy?
How much is finery?
it's 5. So
5.
basically, it's just a wardrobe of noble clothes and accessories.
Do I need to buy things for my child,
Like what things?
like clothes and shoes for my child?
If you want your child to have clothes and shoes, probably yes.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if like I get extra things for
mean,
them or what. I just need to know.
Yeah, I mean, because they're like your child and you're the one who's has to like take care of them. I think in this case, yes, you would have to
It's
buy them.
all
clothes and
coming
shoes.
out of my stuff.
Yeah. How old is
Just
the
like in
child?
real life.
I'm trying. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know how old my child is yet. Okay.
Quick question. If I put in my thing that I had a wife, would she be a minor character that since it's kind of like not even in the same town.
Yeah, if she's not super important to the story, but you know she exists.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that would be 3.
Awesome. So you have a distant wife.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's why I'm a thug. I gotta take care of her.
Right. Got to do something to provide for the fam.
Ooh. I think I know what to do with my last 14 points.
Yeah.
How do you have all those points that you just have to?
I started
spend on
off with
extra
like
things?
30
I
something.
still
Yeah,
have
he was like an
26
advocate
left.
and stuff. Yeah.
I had
I mean, I
55.
I didn't have that many. I had like 30 or no, I had like 50 something. Yeah, when I started.
So I think I'm going to choose a relationship with a character who's considered powerful and who plays a large role in the game setting. 15 points. And make them like my uncle. My uncle is the one who called me here.
Oh, okay. So this is like whoever is like second in charge of the opera house. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because what else am I going to do with 14 points? I already bought a wife and a house.
That's all you need.
Oh, and a dagger.
Nice.
Because
Gotta have a shiv. Yeah.
gotta have that thug life.
Yep. True.
And a horse. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Do you have a place to live? Right? Yeah, you have a house. Cool. All right.
Let's see.
Is there a set price for relationship stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, that's on page like 91.
94, I think.
Yeah, starting on 94.
Sorry, it was a couple pages off.
So I'm going to take I'm going to have a small local or specialized group like affiliation with a sorcerer's cabal.
Nice. Wait, say that again?
Yeah, I was confused.
I think I heard it and then didn't hear it.
So
And then realized.
it just makes some suggestions, but I kind of think it's cool. So maybe it's not exactly this, but something
Mhm.
similar. Like it says that you can spend 10 resource points to know a small, local, or specialized group.
Right. So this is
And one of them
affiliation.
is called a sorcerer's.
So do you want to know a bunch of noblemen who like pretend like they know magic? Like they study like weird arcane stuff that they think like might give them magic someday? Are you part of like some sort of weird like club?
That's how
like
she found out
academics
about the,
club that they try to figure out if magic actually existed?
That's how she found out about the ancient language. Maybe.
Right.
Well, right. That's what I'm thinking. Right, is that
Yeah.
if I know a small minor group that like taught me the ancient language.
Yeah. A group of like super like stuck up academic nobles who like oh perfect. Like young nobles who like think they know everything.
Who
Oh,
maybe even don't approve of her teaching it to a deaf
true,
child.
yeah. It's only for insiders.
Just so she can communicate it.
So what should I put there?
Ooh,
Just
okay.
like an affiliation.
Yeah, like noble club.
Affiliation 10 Noble Club.
Yeah, they're gonna have some sort of super pretentious name too. It's gonna be awesome. Oh, I love that.
Still have 24 more points. Okay.
So you could have a
I'm trying to
reputation
think-
for yourself. You could have relationships with people.
Before I like get into more like relationship stuff and whatnot, I just want to make sure like so I have clothes, shoes, a book, a toolkit for writing, and finery. Is that like good for like actual stuff that I need?
I think so. Let me double check here again.
I just want to like make sure because I want to make sure I have like the essentials, of course.
So you have a book.
Yes, a book. It's supposed to be like a sentimental book type of a thing.
Oh, you got personal effects.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Should I just write that? Should I write a personal effects and then in notes write a book?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but yeah. Yeah. Only thing I can think of is you probably have like a small personal library, right?
Oh, right. How much does a library cost?
Right. That's what I'm wondering.
Well, it's not necessarily hers.
Well,
If I-
I feel like she would own some more books than just one book.
Right.
I mean, let's just say that it's 1 point per book, so you can just spend more money on books if you want. Have a small library.
Is it helpful to keep any resource points, or should we spend them all?
They spend them all. They're completely useless for the rest of the game.
Got it.
They all need to go.
Gosh.
Where's that resource list again that's not on page 91?
202.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just debating if I want a reputation or if I want a relationship.
You should get a relationship with someone, and then I will complicate your life. It'll be great.
I mean, part of me kind of wants just because I always want a romantic relationship in an RPG, but
yeah,
but
I was gonna ask, can we buy a relationship and then have you introduce the person? Like,
yeah, you don't have to like give me every detail about who they are.
Okay,
like, yeah, you can just be like, they're this kind of person, and then I can make it up. Yeah, that's fine. You feel more.
I mean, no, I mean like.
What do you mean?
Like, buy a relationship and then have them like meet in game, like.
Oh, no, probably not. Like, this would be
Okay.
someone you know already. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm just gonna have a local or minor reputation.
What is your reputation? So you have to like word it
I
however
have
you
to
want it.
define it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's
it's
a
your
great
reputation is
question.
whatever. So whatever you describe it as is like a word or a phrase or whatever.
Weird. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Weird book lady. Right?
Weird
Like,
book lady who uses her hands to communicate.
yeah. Weird librarian.
I mean, I'm just debating how specific I want this to be.
Mm-hmm.
Should I put relationships for my family, like immediate family relationships? Should I just put them in there?
Yeah, I mean, so it's basically relationships or anyone that you know specifically, like, that they're important to you. And also, having a relationship with someone means you never have to roll circles to find them. You can just
Okay.
automatically, like, unless there's a circumstance that, like, they're kidnapped or whatever, you can always just have a scene with them, like, just find them. So this is someone you've known for a while and have a good relationship, or have a relationship with of some sort, like that's deeper than just like acquaintance level. Everyone else in the game, you're gonna have to roll circles to like find and meet and stuff. But yeah, these are important people. So you don't have to have a relationship for every person in your family. So you can just be like, I just have my father as a relationship, and that's fine. But you could also have both if you want. You could also have siblings. Oh, except no, we decided you were an only child.
Yeah.
Remember, yeah. Weird book lady, yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
I just put weird book lady.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so I still have like 17 points.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I feel like I want a love relationship, but it's one-sided and it's not on my side.
So you have a secret admirer, or maybe a not so
Maybe.
secret admirer.
Right.
I mean, I
don't
feel
know.
like it might be one of the people in the book club, right? Like in the
Oh, right.
a fellow.
Gosh, no! This is gonna be like the book club again.
No, it's not though, because they're not
Oh
reading
my
romance novels.
Because
They're
there's not
reading,
romance novels.
they're reading secret arcane rituals and stuff.
Or like the manga club, right? Or the,
Yeah.
the Japanese
You're
culture.
always in a book club.
Okay, I think I have all my stuff and all my like the traveling gear, shoes, clothes, everything's doubled because it's for me and my child.
Right. Nice. So your child has some like spare rope that he needs when if he needs it. A small
like
hunting knife.
It's like warm clothes and stuff for traveling if we ever have to travel anywhere.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Candles, matches, flint and steel, pocket knife, rain cloak, rain hat, sturdy rucksack, warm coat. That's the kind of thing that I'm like, the child needs traveling gear in case we go anywhere.
That's fair.
If my job requires that we travel somewhere for me to perform.
Sure.
So, Carly, how important do you think I should make this person in this?
Well, this is also like important to the setting.
Right. That's what I mean. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could have it be like legit, like head of a noble household if you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like who? Like, how important do I want this to be? Do I just want this to be like a minor thing and just have it cost me like 3 points, or do I want this to?
The person that's into you?
Yeah.
Or is it like the king of the country or something is in this
Oh my God.
arcane ritual and he has a thing for you?
That would be.
You could do that.
Right. Like, how important do I want this person to be? I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it's also going to implicate you, so that's why I'm asking.
Caleb,
Yeah.
question. So I spent 8 on my daughter because I felt like it would be like she's significant but not like powerful.
Mhm.
If that makes sense, as opposed to spending the 13.
Yep.
And then I have a hateful relationship with my
Honestly,
baby daddy.
I would even just put her at the lowest one.
Oh, put her at the lowest one?
Yeah, because like it's a child, right? Like it's not super important,
Got it.
even though it's important
Well,
to
I'm
you.
still trying to decide how old she is.
Yeah.
Because that would change things.
I don't know if it would change. I think it would just be the lowest one. I think like
Okay.
having a child isn't like, because the reason
Wow,
relationships
I
are
have 5
priced.
more points.
The reason these are priced differently is if it's someone important or powerful that like would give you connections because you know them. It's mainly what it means.
Okay, I would like to up my baby daddy then. He's more important.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So is he a nobleman?
I don't know.
Minor
I
nobleman of
didn't-
some sort.
There wasn't a possibility before, and now there is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I seduced someone at the opera.
Uh-huh. You seduced a minor nobleman at the opera.
I seduced them too well.
Mhm.
I think I'm just going to give this person a significant. I'm not going to make them like the king. They're just significant.
So some sort of important nobleman.
Yes, I put hateful relationship 8 with baby daddy noble.
Perfect. What if it's the same person?
Oh no.
What if Alyssa and Emily have this relationship with the same person?
Oh, that would be awkward.
That's
how we know each other.
It doesn't have to be that way. That'd be kind of funny.
Okay, and then I'm going to have 10 books.
10 books, perfect. Small personal library. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and so basically we could even just say, yes, exactly, yeah. We could. I'm trying to think of what we would roll. Exactly this. Probably like I don't know. We'd really probably roll something at some point to like figure out how much use you have out of those books. Whether or not they're like.
Oh right, yeah.
Really good or not, but yeah, you have a store of knowledge at your disposal, that you could just have free access to. Cool, awesome. Has everybody spent their resource points then?
Yes.
Yep.
Still have 20 left.
Oh my gosh. You're
so
gonna know everybody.
yeah, relationship with father and mother would definitely be higher than that.
Oh, okay.
Because they're nobles, they're very important. I mean, they're
Okay.
the head of a household. So I'd put them. This is up to you. Like, I imagine that you're a semi-important noble.
Probably.
So I would say like the default like 10 minus whatever
Okay.
you had. So I guess 7 for both of them, I think.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
So because they're more significant, because you had the -3, right? Because you had them originally at 5, the minor relationship, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because you have them at 2 costs. So I assume
Okay.
that what you did was, and maybe you just did this unintentionally.
Just looked at the PDF where it says immediate family relationships.
Right. So it's
Oh, that's 5 minus
it's
2.
-2 to whatever the base cost is. So
Oh.
right. So okay. So tell me, how important are your parents as nobles?
Probably pretty important.
Like super important, like some of the most important nobles in like the country, or just like
Probably not,
Not
but
that
they're
much?
pretty
Okay.
high up.
yeah. So it would cost 8 for both, or for each of
Okay.
them. And then so you have a romantic pen pal from childhood. Is this person a noble?
Probably.
Are they a minor
Oh.
noble that's like less important than you, or are they like on par with you in importance?
Probably less important.
Okay, yeah. So I think it would be let's see, 5 minus 2, so it'd be 3. All right, so you have 7 left.
Okay.
I have so many characters that I gotta come up with. I love it.
It's already 10 o'clock.
I know.
Yeah, it's very late.
Yeah, I
It
gotta
is
wrap
1
this up.
a.m.
Can I just buy multiple personal effects and have like a bunch of different things?
Sure, yeah.
Makes sense.
Just spend the
Cool.
rest on and just have a whole bunch of fun trinkets whenever you want them.
Yeah.
It's fine. You're a rich person. You can do that.
You're a rich person. You can do that.
All right, awesome, cool.
It's true.
So, the last couple things here are resources and circles. So this is determined by stuff you spent on gear and whatnot. So your starting resources exponent is the total resource points the player spent on his character's property, reputations, and affiliations. Just those 3 things.
Right?
Not relationships, spells, or gear. So property, so like a house or a herd of animals or whatever. Not just like personal items. Reputations and affiliations.
Maybe I should have bought reputations and affiliations
And then
instead.
you divide that by 15. So again, you can switch these around if you want, right? Like if you want to.
Because I mean, because
Real quick, I'm gonna go let my puppy outside.
mine is 5 divided by 15 is
-3.
not no.
Not negative.
Well, I mean, that's not how that works, I guess.
Third.
Sorry.
It's 0.
Right. I guess I think mine's just 1 because I have 17 divided by 5 round down, so that's just 1.
Divided by 15.
Yeah, 17 divided by 15
Yeah.
would just be 1.
Mine is 11 divided by 15, so 0. Oh, wait. Property. Oh, no. This is wrong. Mine is way less. I have 0 in that for sure.
Well, I'm gonna ask Caleb if how important this is because I'm not sure.
Well, but if you divide by 15, it's just 1.
But then you round down.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I said the wrong thing. Mine is actually 3 divided by 15 rounds down to 0.
Right, okay.
How important is this, Caleb?
How important is resources?
Yeah.
So this is what you'll roll when you need to like keep up your lifestyle. So at certain intervals in the game, usually like seasonally or like over whatever. Actually, it's basically whatever we decide it's going to be, whatever the cycle is. Everyone rolls a resource test, see if they can continue keeping up their current standard of living. And if they fail, then like your gear breaks down, you lose your house, that sort of stuff.
So a lower number is better.
The lower number is worse because you have to roll your resources to keep up your lifestyle. If you have a low resources, if you have a 0 in resources, which you may end up with, then you automatically fail any resource test you try to make.
Cool. Sweet.
So I have 1.
Yeah, so it's all those points divided by 15.
Well, it's property, reputations, and affiliations. So
all of those
yeah.
points.
So mine was 3 divided by 15, which is 0.
Yep. So you have 0. So you're gonna have to try to make some money.
Wait. Here's my question. Does that matter for me then? Because technically, my whole gist is I'm like getting a job at the theater as a janitor.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, and you can earn money by doing a job and stuff. It's just a matter of making sure you have money when the tax man comes around.
Because my whole thing was I like the idea of the important person who called me being my uncle. Does it make sense? But I don't want to necessarily take all of those just for a reputation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be probably fine then if I choose to do it.
You just gotta make sure. You just gotta make sure you get money in game. You just have to insist on being paid.
That's why I specifically said I'm working at the theater as a janitor while I'm doing this.
Yep. Yeah. So what does everybody have?
0.
1.
For what?
For resources.
For resources.
I have 1.
You have 1?
0.
Nice, yeah.
Seems like it's pretty hard to
Wait,
get.
how do
Oh,
you-
you can
how
have
do
a
you have-
zero?
How do you
I think
have
I have
one?
a zero.
Yeah, I
then.
think you have a 0.
Yeah.
But it's fine. You don't have to pay for anything.
Everyone
Cause
has
Yeah.
0.
Because
I can
Alyssa
pay for
bought
any of
like
that stuff, so.
affiliations and reputation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
sounds like
wanted
it's.
to have the reputation of weird book lady.
I would have had to have spent all of my points to get anything bigger than 1.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome to Being Poor. And just close the door behind you. Cool, awesome. So then it's circles. Starting circles is half the will exponent rounded down. So you can increase by 1d if you've spent 50 or more resource points on property and relationships, which I don't think any of you did. So it's just half your will rounded down. So I think everybody starts it at 2.
2.
No, I think my will is 3.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so you started at 1. You're not good at finding people that like you.
Oh no.
The thing is, so
This
the way
really is just Ari. Oh my god.
the way that circles works is that if you fail, so you roll it to try to find someone who can help you with something or like someone you need to find. If you fail, I can either say you don't find them or you find them but they don't like you, and so yeah, that might be a thing that happens. Okay, cool. So
What else
circles.
is new?
The rest of it, I think, automatically happens. So the only other thing is just something to be thinking about before we do the next time is beliefs and instincts. So beliefs and instincts are the things that are important to your character and the things that they do instinctually. So if you guys go to the information tab on your character sheet, that's where you write them down. So everybody has 3 beliefs. Or at least 3 slots to put beliefs in. You don't have to technically fill them all in, but you should because that's how you get points in the game. Artha is what it's called. So beliefs are something you believe and then what you're going to do about it. So they're written as like, I hate the king. I will see him dead. That is a belief. And whenever you work towards a belief, you get a fate point. If you complete a belief, and that's the way you would word them as such. So it's not just like I hate the king because you're never going to complete that. There's nothing you can finish there. But I hate the king. I will see him dead. As soon as you see him dead, then you get a persona point, which is a more powerful Artha point. So those are things that your character wants to strive towards. So your goals in the game. And so they're written as
Terra Nullius goals.
Yeah, it's like Terra Nullius goals, except it's written in 2 parts: something you believe and what you're going to do about it. And then instincts. So you're going to think of 3 things your character does instinctively. These can be good things or bad things. So it can be so I want it, for example, for you, Seth, would be maybe always have a knife on me. The way that works is if you have that instinct, I can never say, oh, looks like you didn't bring your knife here, unless it's very specific, like, look, they're searching you, they're grabbing your knife, like sort of a thing. You'll always have a knife on you because it's instinctual. If you have a bad instinct, so like always tell people off who insult me, then it's not that your character has to do that, but if you play to it consistently, right, then you get fate points because you're complicating the life of your character because you're acting on an instinct that you have.
Can I have an instinct? I always find money on the ground.
No. Has to be something that you instinctively do in response to a stimulus.
I instinctively find.
No.
It's
so
getting
it
late,
would be
sorry.
like when I find money, immediately spend it, right? That would be an instinct. So they're usually written in 3 ways: if then statements, always or never statements. So I always do this, I never do this. If this happens, I do this. So be thinking about those for your character, and try to have those filled in before we get started when we start the game proper. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns, things you want to talk about before we sign off?
Tiger.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about Seth.
I think we have a pretty good starting scenario here. A lot of fun things. A lot of really interesting people that can do interesting things and cause lots of problems for you guys. I'm interested in that. And the rest of it, we can kind of we'll talk about when we actually start playing the game. And I'll help you guys figure out how the the basics of it go. Cool. I think that's it. Awesome. This is our new campaign. I'll have to think of a name. I don't really know. Maybe, I mean, it's definitely gonna have Lavender in the name. I like that, and I definitely want like Carly's character to like grow Lavender.
Of course.
But I don't know if I'm sold on Lavender Fugue yet, because it doesn't seem like anyone is particularly musically inclined except for Emily. And you're like more of like a performer, not like a
Yeah, I didn't
soloist or
take any
whatever.
of like the instruments or anything.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right. Thank you guys for going on with me in this journey and starting to learn the insanity that is Burning Wheel. It was just so much fun to listen to you guys be like, what is this trait? What? So much fun. And my puppy is going crazy on that toy over there. All right, cool. I think that's it. Adios. We out.